nothing. Bitches ain't shit and they ain't saying nothing. Bitches ain't shit and they ain't saying nothing. Man.
Good people, hope y'all can hear me loud and clear. Coming through these headphones louder than the motherfucker. What's going on? How y'all doing? What's happening? Check it out. Niggas and bitches, bitches and niggas. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. Fortunately. Eloquently petty, articulate assholery. My name is Marcus Aurelius. This is the Keep It 100 presentation. Trying to get my other screen up right now. That. All right, there we go. Let me mute that. That double shit again. All right. Let me shout a few people out. All right. I see Gail up in here. Adric, as usual. All right. Gail, Revelator. All right. Mike Berg. What's going on? My nigga, the one. My man, the one. All right. CG, what's going on, bro? All right. Slick Rick. You know what time it is, Rick. Break the cycle. All right, Maggie, how you doing? All right, Mr. Snaz, what's up, man? What's going on, bro? All right, Afro National in the building. My man Tan. Yeah, I said 8 p.m. I was wrong. It was 7. It was 7, man. All right, look, time zones, man. Time zones. Okay. Right? Got to give to do. Okay? Shout out to Mike Ferg. Ferg busting shots at Hood Conservative early. I want to address that a little bit in a few minutes, but shout out to everybody. Okay? This is This Week in Fuckery. A lot of fuckery went on this week. A lot of fuckery. Okay? So first, I want to shout out a few people. All right, I want to shout out Shay Sade. All right, I was on Shay last night. Okay, shout out to Shay. Shay, I don't know if Shay watching, but shout out to you. I jumped on Shay. I don't know. I just hit the link. I mean, you know, Shay be live. I sub to Shay, right? I watch a lot of the shit she puts up. I check it out if the title is interesting to me. And so she was talking yesterday about black women saying that black men have to lower their standards. Okay. Lower their standards. Not the never settle bitches. Saying that we got to lower our standards. Now, I was on Shay's channel. And I give her the Dr. Thunder treatment. And what that means is I keep it clean, right? Keep it clean when I'm on her shit. You know? Who was in the building? I think it's one of y'all was in it. Snazzy was in the building. Snazzy. No, wait, Snazzy, you was there. I think you were there when I was on Shay's shit last night, right? I just pulled up, right? Pulled up. I don't know how much of my shit she sees, right? But I was backstage and she said, cam up so I know that you're not a troll. And I told her, hey, it's Marcus, keep it 100, right? Try to, use my card. Oh, it's Marcus. All right, I see you. All right, cool. Right? So cool. So she pulled me up. We had a nice little conversation, right? So, I did my one too, but I had to keep it clean for her channel. She was very girly. Like she was very girly. I said this on my community tab. The experience, like, Snaz, you was there. She's very girly. So Snaz, I don't know if you got a different energy. I just, I show up to a lot of people shit. Sometimes I hit the link and they see, oh, it's that nigga. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I should let him up. Some people get nervous. I show up, I pull up on people's shit, and they're like, oh man, should I let him up? I don't know. He might come up here and say some crazy shit. I don't know what they think of me, man. I don't know. But she let me up. We had a nice conversation about the never settle bitches telling men to settle. Right? The never settle bitches. These are the chicks that, I want a high value man, Kev, right? That's them hoes telling us we need to lower our standards. The chick, it be the same ugly, pudgy face bitch saying this shit. Y'all seen this girl before. I recently posted her on my community tab talking about, my money is mine and his money is mine. Her. Same chick. Right? So, Mr. Suge said, back down like SmackDown. Just got done checking you out on Shay. Yeah, it was cool, man. Ed had tried to pull me in on a Shay panel years ago, and I couldn't make it, right? But I had never been on her channel before, right? So I figured, okay, I hit the link. She put the link up. I never been there when she put the link up. So I was like, fuck it, I'll hit the link. You know what I'm saying? Let me be somewhere else besides this motherfucker, man. So, yeah. Y'all niggas need to lower y'all standards, man. Y'all niggas asking for too much. Y'all want too much. Y'all need to chill out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, y'all don't like fat bitches. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want bitches that grow hair out their head. It's too much. It's too much. Y'all want a bitch that act like a girl. It's too much, man. Gotta relax. Like Nori said, you gotta relax. Okay. And I said to her, I said, yo, these hoes gotta go to femininity training. You telling me a girl gotta go to school to be a girl? Can you imagine, right? Can you imagine a guy, a man, having to go to masculinity training? He need to be trained in masculinity. And when I say masculinity, I'm not talking about, how to, socially be a man. I'm talking about how to just have male energy, like male energy. You know what I'm saying? And I asked, would a woman want a nigga? Like, imagine what that looks like. A dude that has to go to masculinity training. What does that look like? Like before the training? Like women that are in the chat. You with a guy, he's not masculine enough for you. So, you go to University of Arizona, one of these online schools, and you find masculinity 101. And you send this nigga, you gonna do all of that? Send him the masculinity so he can act like a dude? I mean, exhibit male traits. I ain't talking about you can be a real man and pay all the bills. No, I'm talking about just exude male energy. right? Just male energy. These women got to learn how to exude female energy. That's what we are. Just female energy. I ain't talking about bitch got to learn to cook and sew and do woman shit, you know, that society says that she has to do. I'm talking about like just act like a girl. Like Peppermint Patty going to femininity class and shit. Hey, Chuck. Right? Like Peppermint Patty and shit. You know, like a stud, right? I don't know how to be a woman. And she has to go to school to learn femininity. Ain't no girl that I know want to fuck with a nigga that got to learn how to be a dude to act like a dude. How they be acting like dudes, right? How they dress. And, you know, I told Shay, I said, you know, a lot of these women cosplay as men. I don't know any women who would rock with a dude that had to learn how to, you know what I'm saying? To move like a dude. Anyway, conversation was cool. Shout out to Shay Sade. It was cool. She let me on the panel, right? Let me get my list of topics. We're gonna go through these topics, right? So I got some things for y'all to look at tonight, right? So I started with Shay Sade. Okay. All right. Slick Rick. Okay. Now I'm gonna address you. You're on the list. I'm gonna address you, my nigga. Okay. So Slick Rick, me and Slick Rick have been having a discussion on the community tab, right? Now after this, I got some current events that I'm gonna get into with y'all, and I got some videos for y'all to look at. But Slick motherfucking Rick, okay? You're in the chat. He's in there. It's right there, Slick Rick. Okay, we're talking about livable wages. And I think I'm trying to remember where the conversation started at, right? I think the conversation started. We were talking about migrants. You're talking about migrants. And it was my position. Shout out to Adrian Hicks. Adrian will be joining me tonight. Stand by, Adrian. My man Adrian Hicks will be joining me tonight. We'll be talking politics. But let's talk about livable wage for a second. So, and Rick, at any given point, I'll shoot you the link, nigga. If you want to speak. This ain't one side. If you want to get your shit off, my nigga, I'll let you up. So my position was, we bring migrants over here, you know, for the low wage of it. Because there's this idea that Americans don't want to do these jobs that the migrants do. And I said it on Facebook. I said, no, it's not that they don't want to do the work. It's that they don't want to do the work for what they pay the migrants. Now, then, okay, so Rick says this ridiculous shit that he just said. He said, oh, yeah, you ninjas expect people to get paid $50 an hour to flip burgers. Now, Rick, now that we're on the stream, right? See that? See, it's hyperbolic bullshit like this. It's just stupid to say in a fucking argument, right? I've nowhere seen McDonald's workers talking about they want $50 for an hour. I've seen $15. These motherfuckers acting, oh, it's $50. See, once you say dumb shit, you lose. Okay? Nobody's asking for $50 to work fast food. Now, you're talking to somebody, Rick, that has worked at McDonald's before. Oh, yeah. I worked at McDonald's back in the day. Yeah, worked there before. Right? Shout out to Leon. What's going on, Leon? Dre, I see you. Right? So let's continue. Because we're gonna go into this, right? And Rick, again, at any given time, homie, I will shoot you these links. Right? So I told Rick, I said, yo, no, people don't want to do the job for what they pay the migrants. It's not the job, it's the money. They don't want to, they want to pay minimum wage, right? So Rick's response is, y'all niggas, you see, niggas need to go get degrees and get skilled work and get a trade. And that's cool. But you still need somebody to do that job. That job is unskilled labor. That job, right? That job requires hands, right? Shane, I see what you're saying, but hear me out. Because everybody's saying, oh, he's saying some Americans are so entitled that getting paid $150K to work from home is not enough money if they have to show up. And those people are entitled. What I'm talking about is something else. Shout out D. Scott. All right. What I'm talking about is something else. I'm talking about unskilled labors. My point of view was you have to pay them the minimum livable wage for the location. Wherever you got these people working, you have to give them enough to live, not to get the Benz or the Bentley or to wear Gucci, right? But to pay rent, keep lights on, keep heat on, and come back and forth to your fucking job. Right? Talking about baseline. Now, the argument that I always hear in reference to McDonald's workers, right, is only the kids are supposed to be working at McDonald's. If you work at McDonald's as an adult, like, you know, you should, as an adult, have a degree or something like that and be doing something that pays you the money that you're asking for. Mind you, we're talking about $15 an hour. I've been having this discussion for some years now, and I always get dumb shit. And Rick, yeah, it's dumb shit, right? $15 an hour. So, can somebody do me the math in the chat on what $15 an hour adds up to at the end of the year? And we're talking about $15 an hour before taxes, Rick. What is $15 an hour for the year? So Rick says something. Rick says most fast work food workers are females, with a big percentage being single mothers. Irrelevant. He says stop protecting the matriarchy. You ain't gonna shame me today, bro. It's not gonna work. This is Marcus. We know how I get down. So the straw man bullshit is not gonna work. We're not talking about who works. We're talking about numbers. Livable wage. Livable wage. So Maggie says it's 31,200. Rick, I don't know what school or degree you want people to go to for that amount of money, bro. Okay? Now you might say, well, you shouldn't work there if you want 31,200. $31,000, Rick? So I'm caping for the $30,000 crowd? No, nigga. Makes sense. Makes sense. They're asking for 30 grand a year. And you're saying, oh, that's too much because you should have a degree. Well, nigga, who's going to serve you your fucking Big Mac, nigga? Let me ask you. See, a lot of dumb shit goes on in niggas' heads where they think of life in standards, right? Where standards rule their fucking minds and not reality. So let me bust down some reality for you, Rick. Let's bust down reality for you, Rick. Yeah, and Leon, I'm gonna get to you because to me you're banging for the plantation. Let me bust down some reality for you, Rick. Some logistics. And you're talking to a business nigga. And if you ain't never ran a business, nigga, don't argue with a business nigga. I'm not even speaking from the standpoint of an employee. I'm speaking from the standpoint of an employer. Okay? If you have nothing but teenagers running your McDonald's, nothing but teenagers. I mean, everyone working at McDonald's should be okay with less than 15, because the argument is, please give us $15. No, that's too much. You need to go to school. Nigga, you're saying that the people that work in McDonald's should be kids just working there for the summer or some shit like that, right? And, you know, they should be all right with the lower than $15, the lower than $31,000 a year salary, because they're kids. Maybe they live with their mother and they're in school. And then when they get out of school, they get something better. And then the new crop of kids comes in and then they do this. Nigga, who works the fucking restaurant during school hours? When you're on break from your job and you deserve a break today, right? Who the fuck is serving your burger, nigga? The kids are in school. The kids are in school. So the argument is, well, Marcus, you could get college students. You can get college students to work. Some go to night school so they can work in the day and then they could go to school at night. When do they do their schoolwork? And he says the reality is you don't know what the fuck you talking about. Rick, I don't sound stupid here. I don't sound stupid here. So why don't you how about this? This is what I'll do. This is what I'll do, right? Check this out. Watch this, y'all. Watch this, y'all. Since you like to talk shit in the comment section, right? There's the link, my nigga. Why don't you come here and get in front of the class and tell us why Professor Marcus sounds stupid right now? There's the link, my nigga. No, niggas want to do this. Don't Twitter finger me. Hit that link, my nigga. Hit that link and tell me what the fuck I don't know. What I do know, before I even continue with this McDonald's shit, what I do know is if you run a business, you ain't going to get nobody to take your job if they can't afford to keep it. If they can't afford to get up and come to work every day, they can't work for you. If they can't afford to travel to your job, they can't work for you. And then you got to talk about quality of the actual employees. You want people that they're going to come to work. They're going to give a fuck about the job. They got to give a fuck about the job. You got to maintain their employment. You've never had employees, bro. I guaranteed you never had employees, nigga. Okay? So you want to underpay people. So if you underpay, they don't give a fuck. Mind you, if you got Americans working at, not somebody who's escaping some dire situation, because you don't want migrants. So you say, well, Americans should do this job for no money. But the no money is going to have them living where? We got prices, inflation going up and up and up and up. They want money for that position. Somebody has to do that job. Somebody got to do it. Rick, you ain't got an argument. That's why you don't want to hit the... Bro, listen. You don't want it. You don't want it up here. Trust me when I say you don't want it. I'll let you talk. I'll sit back and just listen to you. Make yourself look dumb. You don't want to fuck with me, right? Don't believe what the old man say, that I'm some slow nigga playing with crayons, nigga. You'll come up here and I'll embarrass you. I will make you, matter of fact, I'll let you make yourself look crazy. If you see that guy, the one that says hit the link, he has employees. That's my man. He's in LA now, but we're all from New York. All my niggas is hustlers and businessmen, my nigga. That nigga got employees. That's my man, the one. I don't want to say his name. That's the one, right? He knows what it is. If you want to get a nigga working for you, you got to give that nigga enough money to make it at least. You can't underpay a nigga. He's not going to give a fuck about your job. He's not going to show up. You're going to keep losing people and losing people. And then you got to compete with other companies in that same position. Right? So where's the entitlement for 31 grand? A nigga that wants 31 grand is entitled? What the fuck is wrong with y'all niggas, man? Then you making it about single moms. Nigga, I don't give a fuck about that. Who runs your fast food restaurant when school is in session? If a nigga call out, who's taking his place? The nigga that's going to school in the day? When do a nigga sleep? Bro, you don't want to do this with me, bro. We did it in the comments section. I told you I was going to bring it to you on this next stream, bro. Okay? I've had employees. I know what it takes to keep employees. I know what employee turnaround is about. You don't want motherfuckers coming and quitting and coming and quitting and coming and going and coming and going. The link right there, bro. The link is right there. And he says, raising minimum wage is part of the reason for inflation. Bro, you don't know what the fuck you talking about, nigga. I ain't say shit about the minimum wage. I'm talking about particular jobs. I'm talking about unskilled labor. The people who got these people doing these jobs, they need to pay a baseline income for these people to be able. That's why when you bring your migrants in and you pay them that nothing, right? You pay them that nothing. Once they get embedded into America, they leave those positions and get jobs that pay more. And then you have to bring a new set of poor people in. But niggas don't want migrants. So niggas will complain about the migrant, then say that the people that are already here, you shouldn't pay them. So you're causing the migrant shit with that mentality. Right? So here we go. He's still yapping, y'all. He's still yapping. Bro, you're not going to win this, fam. You're not going to win this. Said the people that didn't pay attention in school work in McDonald's when their kids are in school. No, dumb fuck. You have to hire adults to work in your McDonald's. All of your employees cannot be children. Would you pay millions of dollars to start a business and then put a bunch of kids in there to run it? Would you do that? This is how I know you're not a business person. See, he keeps saying minimum wage. Now you sound like hood conservative because I keep saying this is how much the position should pay based on where you are. I didn't say shit about minimum wage. I didn't say shit about minimum wage. I'm speaking from an employer perspective. If you want to keep employees and you want them to give a fuck about the job and you want to keep morale up and you don't want them to quit for another position. And I'm talking about adult people because you can't hire children. Them motherfuckers are doing other shit. Let me ask you, how focused you think a child is going to be working for you? You ever have young people working for you, Rick? Because I have. Shit, I've had young people working for me for no money. I've had interns. You know what I'm saying? Working for me. You really don't know what you're talking about, bro. I think you're a little bit out of your league here. What you're going to say is a bunch of shit that sounds good in theory, but you ain't never practiced it. Right? And he says they're the ones that couldn't get a better job. So the nigga that is the regional manager, he couldn't get a better job. The person that is the assistant manager, they couldn't get a better job. You know what it is, Maggie? Niggas hate the rich but want to be rich. Everybody hate the rich but want to be rich. These are guys that sit in their crib and idealize how these things should work and ain't never done them. Bro, you've never run a business, bro. This is why you talk to it. Well, what should happen is what should and who should work there. You need an adult to work your McDonald's, bro. Kids can't work the hours that you need to run your business, bro. They can't. So you're gonna have young people, and soon I'm gonna move on from this because you ain't hit the link, so you don't want this smoke. You're gonna have to train new people constantly. You're gonna have to get uniforms for new people constantly. You're gonna have to rinse and repeat this thing. What you want running a business is you want somebody that is conscientious enough to get up and come to your job every day and do the job. You want you want a team of those types of people. You want a team of those types of people. You know what I'm saying? No, it applies to any business, Rick. But I've worked in the McDonald's, so I know more about it than you do. I know about it more about it than you do. Trust me, I do. Trust me. But you won't hit that link though. Why don't you hit the link and tell me about it, bro? I ain't even gonna. I won't talk over you. I just listen to you. I just listen to you. Anyway, my man Rick. My man Slick Rick. Told you I was gonna address you, Rick. I told you. We cool, but you're on crack. So at any rate, we're gonna move right on. So I'm gonna pull up some articles. You know what? I'm gonna save that for when Adrian comes up. Adrian, I know you're still on standby. Let me move through these things. So check this out. I want to show y'all some things, man. Hold on. I know y'all seen this. Hold on. So this week, this happened.
TikTok, so I just wanted to come on here with a small short announcement. I just want to start this video off.
Can y'all see this? Okay, there it is.
I'm not trying to get clout. I literally just want to have a conversation with my father. My biological father is Dr. Umar. He has another daughter. I tried to contact him about, getting to know my sister on my dad's side. I asked him if he knows her or if he has her number. He ignored me and never responded. I'm 22 years old now. My dad has never been to anything important, no graduation, no birthday parties, nothing. He has not been in my life. Again, I'm not making this video to bash him. I'm making this video to state facts, okay? You can't get on Instagram and get on social media and portray to be an activist and talk about how Black kings need to be with Black women, but you're not even in your Black woman's daughter's life. It doesn't make sense. You're being a hypocrite. And it's frustrating because I reached out to you. I shouldn't have had to do that. I'm your daughter. But I'm smart enough and logical enough to know that you would never reach out to me because you don't have my phone number. And I'm pretty sure you wouldn't try to reach out to me because for what? I don't want anything out of you. I want nothing but a conversation. Forget the relationship.
So let me pause this for a second, just for anybody. What's going on, Nameless? I see you, bro. My man. All right. So this is a young woman who is more than claiming to be the daughter of Umar Johnson, right? Right. He kind of alluded to the fact that she's not lying, right? So she's basically saying, hey, look, this is my father. He's a deadbeat, and I called him, I reached out to him, and he's not fucking with me or my other sister. So Ferg said, have we confirmed this is Umar's child? He pretty much said it. He said it. And I'm gonna show you that also. He pretty much said it. He didn't deny it. And he even went as far as to say, that he wanted to do a 3-way phone call on the internet between her and her mother. Right? So let's play some more.
Relationship. I really don't care too much about that at this point. I just wanted a conversation out of you, and you shut me down. You ignored me. You should never be too busy for your daughter, ever in life. So I just wanted to make this video to just try to, I guess, somehow find my sister on my dad's side. So if you see this, please reach out to me. Please DM me, because I want to know who you are. Why do I have siblings out there that I don't know about? It's unfair. And deadbeat fathers is very common nowadays, especially in the black community, right? We all know Dr. Umar reps the black community or whatever, but you can't rep that if you're not even in your daughter's life. You moving backwards.
Now y'all know where I'm about it with this, right? Uh-oh. What's going on here? Let me see what this shit say. Hold on. I'm seeing some moderation going on here. Oh man. What the fuck? Let me see. Okay. So Mike, let him. He said, thinking, you put him on timeout or did you boot him? Okay, wrenches, right? Let me talk to the wrenches for a second, right? Let me talk to the wrenches for a second. Nobody gets booted. If you time somebody out, okay. If you delete a comment, okay. But don't block anyone. If I don't say block them, yo, no blocking. He said Umar's denying it. No. He already said, oh, you put on my timeout. Okay. You put him on timeout. Rick is a repeat. He's a repeat engager. Me and Rick are disagreeing, but he's not the ops. Okay. Don't block nobody. Wrenches. Block no one. I see you. I hear you. Block no one. I'm just saying it. Just putting that out there. Nobody gets blocked. Right? Here we go. Adrian again. Nigga, that's your fault, motherfucker. Nobody told you to do that shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? He said, can we block Salim? No, Salim is cool. Let Salim do what he do. But at any rate, so look, this is a very interesting story, this thing with this young woman, because we all know what Dr. Umar is about. He runs around talking this shit about, what black men need to do and how we need to interact with black women. What's going on, Hall of Fame? How we need to interact with black women and this and that and third and, all this bow down to the bitches type shit. But we've known for some time that he's had a bunch of kids. We've never seen him. We've never seen him take pictures with him. We've never seen them together. It was only a matter of time till somebody pop out the wall and say, hey, he's my father. Hey. Right. It's only a matter of time. Now, what I don't want to do is I don't want to get into defense mode about this dude because fuck him. Now, I heard him kind of affirm this. He kind of affirmed this. Okay, I think I have it. I thought I had it in my phone, but I heard him kind of affirm this. He basically, I'm a paraphrase him. He basically said that he wants to do a 3-way call with this girl and her mother. Now, if this is nobody to him, why would he want to do that? There's a few more videos. I want to get through these. Let's play some more of this, and then I'm gonna skip to the next one.
You're moving backwards. It's not making sense. To the public, you look like this person, but in private, you a whole nother person. And I'm not bashing you. I just don't understand why you're ignoring me. I'm 22 years old and you have yet to be in my life. No graduations, no parties. When I get married, are you going to be at the wedding? Are you going to walk me down the aisle?
Now, how many of y'all think that this would be out of character for him? I mean, my man running around with Suki, right? I'm just saying. Now, hey, Vegas, he says, I've heard him claim that he was being kept away from one of his kids. I would believe it, but if your daughter's 20 and she's trying to contact you, that's no longer like an argument. It's no longer an argument. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Tan, I'm going to get you. Tan was fucking with me. Tan was making fun of me. He's like, Marcus is simping for Shay Charday. On Tito's stream. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so this is a girl trying to reach out to you. So she's saying the only reason she's doing this is because he won't respond. Right? He won't respond to her. So she's forced to go public.
Yo, I have a stepdad who has been in my life since a little girl. He has been in my life. And I thank God for him because my biological father couldn't even do that, y'all. My biological father is not even on my birth certificate because when my mom had me, he left. And I do have a DNA test. So, yes, I can prove that that's my father. I would never get on here and lie to y'all. That's kind of sick and delusional and crazy. But I'm just making this video because I want to find my sister. And when I reached out to him about giving me her number or if he even had it, I was ignored. So now I guess I have to take matters into my own hands. So if you see this video, sister, please reach out to me because if he's not going to allow us to be in contact, I'll do it myself. I just want to end this video off by saying that daughters who have deadbeat fathers should not have to go through this. This is very present in the Black community. And as an activist, I would not think that you would be a deadbeat because you rep the Black community so much. It doesn't make any sense. You cannot be trying to use your father's name to build your struggle streamer career is so not cool. Struggle streamer? But you have 2 daughters and you're not in their lives, Dr. Umar.
That's his response to her. Trying to use your father to build your struggle streamer career. That sounds like an admission to me. It sounds like an admission to me. So before we cape for Dr. Umar Johnson, right? That sounds like an admission to me. So his response to her was that she's a struggle streamer trying to use her father as a way to come up on the internet.
But I'm a struggle streamer? You see what I'm talking about? Why is that your only focus? You have 2 daughters and you are not present in their lives. Let's focus on that, Dr. Umar. Clock that T.
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Look, I know the good doctor, you know, he's all pro-Black and shit. And I know a lot of y'all niggas, you know, super hotep and your eyes glowing and you got your kente cloth on and your kufi. But let's keep it real, man. I'm saying it's not looking good. Let's go to the 3rd video. I got more. Let's go to the 3rd video.
Hello, guys. So I just wanted to come on here with a small update. I just got off the phone with Dr. Umar's other daughter's mother, and she just told me that that's her daughter. So, yes, y'all, I found her. I'm going to give her a call and talk to my sister when she gets out of school. So, And I just wanted to answer a couple questions. All that, oh, are you going to show up the DNA test? No, because it's not your business. Why? I don't have to prove nothing to y'all internet folks. I know what it is in real life. So no, you're not getting a DNA test. What else have I seen? Why are you coming to the internet with this? I already tried to get in contact with him. He shut me down and ignored me. What else I've been seeing? Oh, you trying to tear down Dr. Umar? No, I'm not. He tore himself down by not building a relationship with his own daughter. What's another question I saw? It's a bunch of questions I seen, but y'all don't know nothing. That's my dad. I have the right. And that's my sister. I have the right. Clock it.
All right, so I'm looking for Nameless Comic. Nameless says, how do you know it's not for clout? I'm gonna tell you the truth. Let's say it is. I don't care. What we know is, right? He didn't say that's not his daughter. He didn't say it's not his daughter. Every response that he's made to her tells me that she's at least his daughter. Now, whatever their relationship is, then that's the question, right? But if she's saying, I've reached out to you, Dad, like regardless of what his relationship with her mom is, if the child is reaching out to you, if it ain't 50 Cent versus Marquise, then get back. And you tell your daughter, yo, this is what it is. This is what happened. But you can't, you're going to not, what is his reason for not reaching out or hitting back or responding at this point? He's never said that this wasn't his daughter, right? So the argument about it, the legitimacy of the actual paternity is not in question for me, at least from what I'm seeing. What's in question is his reasons for not being involved, which I'm inclined to believe what somebody in the chat said is that he was being kept away. I'm inclined to believe that, right? So let's go to the fourth video. It's one more.
This is what my dad responded to me. Good evening, Princess. Although I am very disappointed in your online behavior, I want to have lunch with you and your mother next Thursday or Friday. Please have her text me the day, time, and location for our meeting. You deserve to hear all of the truth from us together. We have much to discuss. I look forward to building the relationship with you that she never allowed us to have. With love, your father. So you decide to reach out to me because I outed you. You had all this time, you had all these chances to reach out to your daughter, but because I outed you on social media, now you want to sit down for lunch? You're a fraud. You're a hypocrite. You are everything that you say that you aren't. And you got on live responding to me, talking about some struggle stream, and talking about some, oh, I'm known in North Philly. If y'all needed to find me, y'all could have found me. Why the what do I have to find you for, sir? When you're my dad. Right? Like, now you want to have a talk because I outed you. Hold black men accountable. Hold them accountable.
Okay, we're going to pause it right there. So, check this out. Let me tell you why I put this up. Let me tell you why I went into this, right? Is not because, this girl, is somehow credible or, et cetera, et cetera. And Nick, I agree with you. She's doing too much now. Mind you, that last video, I want to have lunch, he should have led with that. Mind you, you're a public figure. You know that 9 times out of 10, this shit is going to, like, somebody's going to say something. It's the internet now. You might as well respond if you're going to respond. But again, I don't know what the history is. He's trying to tell her what her mother did to keep them apart. But the girl's reaching out to you. Me personally, if I'm in that situation, I lead with, let's have lunch and we can talk. Right? That's what you lead with. The struggle streamer and all that, and the other response that he did, That other response that he did, he was like, you know, I think he said something to the effect of, you know, oh, I don't have to explain none of my business to y'all people, this and that and the third, yada, 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 yada. Let me tell you why I address this. Let me tell you why I address this. Not because, you know, I think that this girl is some, you know, great person or any of that. I mean, you guys, whatever you say in the chat, it may be valid. But this is the same man that been throwing us to the wolves for the better part of a couple years, or maybe a few more. I'm not about to cap for Dr. Umar Johnson or cape for Dr. Umar Johnson on this right here, especially when this motherfucker has been gallivanting in our faces while telling us what kind of relationships we should have to be good black men. I done missed some super chats. I've been going and going and going. Shout out to Leon. He said niggas is more American than they slave masters. And I guess that's related to the conversation we were having earlier with Rick, right? How long you time this nigga out for? Anyway, shout out to you, Leon, for that. And shout out to Saul T is in the building. I appreciate this generous super chat, right? And with that, hold on. Let's do this right quick. Where is it?
Machismo TV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Subscribe to Machismo TV and Saul T-Balls. We stream daily from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the best male-centric content. Highlight reels without reviewing or providing any editorial bias to the content. We have done so much, with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything, with nothing.
All right, shout out to Saul T and shout out to Machismo TV. All right, if y'all not sub to them, please sub to them. They highlight a lot of our stuff, and you know they do their panels on the weekend, and you don't want to miss that. So, yeah, y'all allow Slick Rick to talk his shit, please. This is the Keep It 100 channel. I don't really do a lot of the corny shit that other people do where we shut people down for disagreeing with us. Let him talk his shit. Let him talk his shit. So I don't know if he's here, if he's waiting to get time from the being on timeout or whatever, but let him talk his shit. But at any rate, so again, this is a guy. We talking about Dr. Umar. This is a guy who on any given occasion is criticizing black men. One thing that the girl said that was correct is that he's full of shit. He's a hypocrite. If any of this shit is true, fuck if she's chasing clout, fuck all of that. My position is, my nigga, you got 2 baby mamas out there. This is something we already knew. And you telling us what we need to do to keep the community together and family this and family that. And nigga, you out here popping a bunch of chicks at your different speech engagements and things like that. Listen, I ain't a hater. I ain't a cock blocker, none of this shit. Trust me, it's against my religion. But if you sell yourself on the image that this is how you move and this is how you get down, and you want to measure yourself against the rest of black, maledom, then nigga, be who you are, be who you say you are. That's it. Right? So we're gonna watch this progress. I'm gonna move on to the next topic, but we're gonna watch this progress. I think it's very interesting, regardless of whether we think she's a clout chaser or not. Shout out to Corbett Goodwin. I got that cash app. I appreciate you, bro. Right? Who's that? Tice in the building? What's going on, Tice? So, yeah. So, regardless of whether she's a clout chaser or not, and that may be valid or not. Maybe everything she's saying about trying to reach him and deciding to go the social media route. You know what I'm saying? is valid. I don't fucking know. But to be honest, it's irrelevant to the point that I'm making. Y'all know how Umar get down, man. He's a pander African, man. Let's keep it real. Stay pandering. Let's not defend his ass now. So two things can be true at the same time. She could be on bullshit, but she's exposing some bullshit on him, on his part. And like Adric said, where the fuck school at? Where the fuck school at? That's what I want to know. That's another good question. Where the fuck is school? Now he did a response to this, basically talking about, you know, his spiritual his spiritual daggers or swords or some, says some old hocus pocus bullshit in his response to this girl. I'm not about to defend that clown. I don't care how full of shit this young woman is. I'm not about to defend this nigga. He never defended her claim of paternity. He never denied it, I should say. He never denied her paternity claim. Right? Now, I do believe, yeah, the girl's mother kept him out. But now that she's trying to reach out to you, reach out to your fucking daughter, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So let's move on, man. Let's see. Oh, got something else for y'all. Check this out, man. I found this very interesting. Let me pull this up, man. And then we're gonna have my man jump up here. So shout out to Kendra Crimson Cure. Right? So let me share the screen real quick. Y'all gonna love this shit. Y'all ready for some KRS-One? Blastmaster KRS-One incoming. All right, so I don't know what's going on with StreamYard. I guess I'm going through the same issues that Ty City was going through the other day. So let me see here. Is that what the fuck? Okay, let me drop that. Okay, here we go. All right, there we are. All right, so let me full screen this. And let's see what let's go through this. I want to skip. Shout out to the Crimson Cure. I just want the part where KRS-One is talking. So this is Tarana Burke, right? Miss Me Too herself.
Concept.
Miss Me Too herself talking about, you know, the Believe All Women. Now you remember this? Believe All Women when they started this Me Too movement, right? So yeah, so now she's kind of doubled back on that. So let me play this real quick. I don't know how many people saw this. Let's go.
Founder of the Me Too movement, you know, she started that hashtag years ago, Me Too, and it became a movement. But she's here to explain what she always meant by Me Too and why she doesn't believe in she denies ever having said believe all women and why she doesn't support that concept. So I'm gonna let her speak.
Choose from thousands of realistic voices to use in your content.
Ads. So let's hear what this woman got to say.
Because it's become a flashpoint phrase, slogan, whatever, that I think a lot of people either misunderstand or willfully misconstrue. When I say the term believe all women.
Nah. I'm so glad you asked that, because that, first of all, that phrase does not come from me or the Me Too movement.
Okay.
I do not subscribe to the phrase believe all women. That has been ascribed to me. I've never said it. I say believe survivors. As a Black woman, I would never, in America, I would never say believe all women. Ever.
Now, I wanted y'all to peep what she's going to do here. First of all, she's full of shit. First of all. Okay? First of all. All right? She said that she's never said it, or that it has never been like part of the Me Too movement. Believe all women. The phrase believe all women. I guess we just made this shit up, right? But, oh, no, that's not me or the movement. Believe all women. Okay, so I want y'all to pay close attention, right? I'm gonna point some shit out that she does in this interview. So listen to what she has to say.
It's ridiculous. What we were saying in the beginning is believe survivors. The reason why we say believe survivors, and what that means is start from the premise that survivors are telling the truth.
I'm going to ask you to culturally translate.
Because for years, when survivors came forward, we were not believed. And if you start with the premise that survivors are telling the truth, that means that you will investigate thoroughly, right? And you will start and you will give them the space that you give a person that you believe, right? That means that you will say, okay, if I believe you, then I'm going to take you seriously. I'm going to go through all the proper channels to make sure you get the resources that you need, that you get the investigation you need. We didn't get that.
First of all, I want to know who we is. I want to know who we is. Now, let's contextualize this because there's nuances in this. If black women are accusing white men, okay. If white women are accusing white men, okay. But if anybody accuses a nigga, get the fuck out of here about this nobody believed you shit. Okay? Let's first do that. Okay? Let's do that first. It depends on who you're accusing. Now, my former associate, Masante Bey, once said, sexual crimes are misdemeanors for white men. This is what he said, right? So, if Brad is the culprit, nobody believes you. That I've seen with my own eyes. Shout out to the Revelator. He says, I found very interesting that bras like Oprah and Burke are subtly playing revisionist history as if we didn't see that all happen before our lying eyes. It's like when they said, Biden ain't never say if you get the vaccine that you can't spread COVID. Thank you for your super chat, bro. Yeah, we was all in. Fuck is you talking about? What I meant to say, I ain't mean to say that. You know what's happening? Too many of these hoes get caught lying. Let's go down the list of bitches that lie. Let's go down the list. Okay? Let's go down the list. Okay, we got the brick lady, right? Okay, we got the brick lady. We got the lady that lied about being kidnapped because she followed the baby down the street and then somebody grabbed her. We got the girl that accused, I think, the lacrosse team doing something to her. Trying not to say the word, okay? Yeah, we got that one. We got just more recently the girl that said Jay-Z and Diddy attacked me. Yeah, we got that. We got all these bitches. We got Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah, we Megan Thee Stallion a fucking liar. Yeah, she fucking liar. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. She fucking liar. All these bitches, all these hoes lying. How many of these bitches are in jail for lying? How many? Now, let me point to the flaw in what she said so far. Oh, yeah. Amber Heard. And even after she was proved to be lying, they still caped for her. Still, how many of these hoes are in jail for lying? None. Zero. Zilch. You can lie on a motherfucker, and if it don't work out, okay, whatever. But let's go to what she said. She said, believing survivors. Casey Anthony. Yep. Casey Anthony. Believing survivors, operating on the premise that the victim or the survivor is telling the truth. Right? Let's start there. Going on the premise that the victim or the survivor is telling the truth and then investigating, right? So I want to pause and I want to let her talk some more, right?
If you don't believe me, you're going to dismiss me. You're going to try to undermine my story. You're going to try to bury me, right? All of those things. That's what you do for a person you don't believe. So when people say believe survivors, it doesn't even mean diminish the other person and demonize the other person. It means take me seriously. Believe me and take me seriously.
Then why not say that? Take me seriously. Investigate my claim. Let's move on.
That's what survivors are looking for when they say believe me. Now, believe all women is ridiculous. As a Black woman in America, believing all women means that I believe Emmett Till's white lady, right? I believe all these white women that try to undermine Black men. I would never, ever say believe all women.
So let me pause that for a second. This is my favorite part, y'all. It's my favorite fucking part, right? So she said, as a Black woman, she would never say believe all women, and then she used the Emmett Till accuser as an example. Now, if we are to believe survivors, right? That means anybody with a claim is a survivor. So we ought to believe them. According to her, take them seriously, right? Take them seriously. That includes bitches who are lying, right? Take them seriously. Believe them. Believe survivors. So I'm not saying believe women, but believe survivors. But the survivors are fucking women. It's the same thing. The survivors are women. The accusers are the women. Oh no, I really mean, I don't, fruit, not banana. Believe survivors, believe women. What's the difference? What's the difference? Because if it's a man making that accusation, I don't believe that. What about Corey Haim and, Corey Feldman and all of these kids from Hollywood that continue to say that shit happened to them? What came of that? What happened to, what's this dude? Tory, I forgot. Cock Diesel man name. He got his dick grabbed and his nuts grabbed in the club. And he tried to jump on the Me Too train and he was ridiculed. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Type his name in the chat. But there's no difference. She was a survivor according to her claim. And what happened? Terry Crews. Yes, Terry Crews. Thank you, Jermaine. My man, Bishop J. Jermaine in the motherfucking building. She's a survivor. So what's the difference? Any lying bitch becomes a survivor. Let me point out something else she did. When she says, I would never say believe all women, what she then begins to do is use lying white women as a reason why she would say don't believe all women. Fuck everybody that I just mentioned. Because as a Black woman, we can't believe all women because white women lie. Y'all ain't catch that? Did you catch it? Hold on. Let me play it again. Let's do it again.
Black men. I would never ever say believe all women. It's racist. It's so fraught with.
Because it's racist, right? Because it's racist to say believe all women, because she's only using the context of a non-black woman making an accusation on a black man. Did y'all catch that? So she's removing the idea that a black woman can lie on a black man. She's removing that. See, this shit don't get by me. You understand what I'm saying? This bitch is full of shit right here. She's full of shit, right? It's racist. It's this, right? So only white women lie on niggas.
So many, it's so problematic. So you can't find me saying that anywhere ever in the history of me being a public figure. Ridiculous. As a black woman in America,
right?
Believing all women means that I believe Emmett Till's white lady, right? I believe all these white women that try to.
It also means that you believe the brick lady. It also means that you believe the lacrosse woman, and you believe the woman that accused Jay-Z and everybody that's talking about Diddy and this. You believe all of these people too. And them women, them ain't white women. These hoes think they slick. First of all, that was your slogan. And secondly, you denouncing it on the basis of Emmett Till. Because, this is what they tell you. Don't fuck with them white women, because they're going to happen to you. And then they start listening to all the shit that happens to niggas when they fuck with black women. Also. The fuck out of here, man. Shout out to Salty. Salty says, let me bring it up. What the fuck? Why is she backpedaling now? She cashed in on the lies. That's the other thing. Why did she say this shit years ago? Why are you saying it now? Oh, I want to clear the air now. This is years later, shorty. This shit don't mean nothing. Adrian, I'm going to shoot you the link to your shit, right? He said, I went live on one of his panels and the homemade thing kicked off and corrected the record right in front of him. What he does now is on him. Okay. I don't know what this is about. But yeah. So now she wants to clear the air. Oh, nah, y'all got it twisted. I didn't mean believe all women. I meant believe survivors. Why didn't she do that then? Because it's profitable. If you think this now, then you thought it then. Then you didn't think to say, no, they fucking up my message back then. Jizzle said, remember when she got pressed about not accusing white men? She said it wasn't her job to accuse white. Wow. Get this bitch. Get this bitch all the way the fuck out of here, yo. These chicks are right now talking about the dude that got killed or whatever, and he talked this shit about whether it was black women or black men. I mean, we went through this shit already with the other kid, the Stefan kid that was on Twitter or whatever talking shit. Let me tell you something. Black women stay getting disappeared by some white boys. They stay getting disappeared. Not only that, when this happens, nobody says shit. Nobody. White feminists don't say shit, and black feminists don't say a motherfucking thing. Let a nigga drop a banana peel on the floor, and a bitch bust her ass. And oh my God, niggas are dropping banana peels on the floor at a record number and making us bust our ass, and it's an epidemic. These niggas are making us fall and bust our ass on banana peels. This must be stopped. Black nor white feminism ain't got a motherfucking thing to say when the bitch that disappear or they find different body parts all over the city or fentanyl or all this other shit. Nobody says nothing when it's Brad. Nobody say a motherfucking thing. Black women are solid. Nope. Ain't gonna talk about Brad fucking us up because we need Brad. Save us from these niggas. Hey, what's good, bro? Shout out to you. So Ian says, who is May? Why was folks taking the side of a new bitch over a veteran? Why don't you ask your guy BGS, Ian? Ask BGS, it more. I don't want to make the conversation about that, but ask the old man, you know, these people that are revered in this space that I attack because I want views and shit. I want clout. Ask him who May is. And ask him why him and other people made videos about that when I blew that spot up. I'm sure he'll be happy to tell you. Ask BGS. The next time he do an AMA, ask me anything, right? Anything. Ask me anything. Ask him that. Ask him anything. On with the show. So hey, I'm gonna shoot my man this link, man. We gonna have, look, it's about to get interesting. I'm gonna bring my man up. Man. So let me get this link, man. Shout out to my man Adrian Hicks, man. We about to talk about a few things. Let me. I want to see. Well, let's finish this out.
Under my
Now,
how can you make an extra 5 figures a month?
So let's skip this ad. Hold on. Let's get.
I actually agree.
try to undermine.
Now, I actually agree more or less with her assessment of this.
Now, Kendra, shout out to Kendra. Kendra, don't let this motherfucker lie to you. I ain't gonna play her whole video, but don't let this motherfucker lie to you. This bitch is full of shit. She's lying. What I meant was, what I had meant to say was, years later. The fuck out of here. Nobody believes you. Hold on, let me shoot this link out. Adrian, if you're in the chat, you know what? I'm gonna just put it in chat. Don't nobody hit this link but Adrian. You know, you hit the link, I'm gonna drop your ass. Look, Adrian, jump up here. Okay. Nobody believes this woman. I would never, because white women be lying on niggas. I would never say believe all women. Just believe us. That's what she should have said. Believe black women. What I meant to say was believe black women. Because we don't lie, but white bitches do. That's what she meant to say. That's what she wanted to believe survivors. Yeah, us. That's what she meant to say. God damn, that bitch ugly. Oh, damn. She's still on my other screen. I gotta close this. Let me close that out. I can't look at that shit no more. Where my man Adrian at? So I'm gonna bring Adrian up. We're gonna talk about a few things. We're gonna talk about Trump, and we're gonna address a few of the things that were discussed on the Politics as Usual stream. Now, let me touch on the Politics as Usual real quick, right? Shout out to Conservative. shout out to Conservative, right? Now, listen, I know he's not a favorite around here, but you gotta get that man credit for coming to smoke. Secondly, you know, there's a lot of videos made after that shit, man. A lot of videos, a lot of going back and forth and this and that, whatever. Hood Conservative will be back for the third. Politics as usual. If he decides to show up, and I think he will, because he's built for the smoke, right? But that was a very interesting stream. But there was a lot of things said that need to be cleared. I'm gonna bring Adrian Hicks up in here. Is he there? I think you're there. Okay, here we go. So my man Hicks is in the building, right?
What's up?
He said Burke looks like Dark Side. Wow. God damn. Yo. Yo, hold on. I gotta bring this shit up. Yeah. He said Burke looks like Dark Side. Wow. I'm mad I didn't think of this first.
It does, actually, when you think about it.
Bro, I'm mad I didn't come up with this shit first. Christopher Brown, god damn it. Wow. Yo, that shit is funny as a motherfucker.
Yeah, she does. It's crazy.
Wow. Like, yo, oh shit. I guess there's a discussion going on between Shepherd Tracer, possibly you and Maggie. I haven't been following it because I've been running my mouth. Can you get me caught up on that?
He wanted to verify that, you know, I was the reason that Maggie came to the space and not BGS.
Right.
You know, I mean, this has been, you know, gone over and litigated several times.
Right.
At this point, you know, and, you know, I mean, Maggie's right there in the chat right now, live, so you can just ask her. You know, quite honestly, I mean, you know, we had consumed some of the content, and you know, obviously, given her professional background, I wanted to, you know, get her thoughts on some different things. She became intrigued with a lot of the information, and you know, she stuck around. She probably watched and consumed content for about 2 years before. BGS was having a stream, I believe, on Young.
So
she emailed him about it, and then that's how you know, it all started as a disagreement actually between her and BGS,
right,
before they became cool.
So I'm gonna address Leon, and Leon, you my man, but I gotta address this comment. So Leon says Shepherd Tracer, we've been known it. Basically, we knew who brought her in, and we know who out of all the spaces allowed Maggie into their spaces. It's not important, and it doesn't prove anything. It is important, and it does prove something. Proves that he lied about the shit. Okay, he lied about it, right? And Leon, you're my guy. I know you rock with homie, but even the people that I rock with, if they lie and they full of shit, I'm gonna tell them you're lying and you're full of shit. All right. So it matters, because when, you know, motherfuckers want to call me a liar and say, Marcus, this person didn't say this and this didn't happen and this wasn't said and blah, 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 yada, 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 then I post the receipt for it. I have to prove that I'm not full of shit, and everybody looks at me like, yeah, Marcus, you lying, and you can't say that, Marcus. And then it's important. It doesn't become non-important because it's him. Okay, so if he lies, then he has to be called out on that shit. That's it. Okay, let's stop playing. Go ahead.
Marcus, I think watch the comments. I think that, you know, Leon is agreeing. You know, there may be some subtle nuance there that, you know, that we're getting wrong with his intent and what he's saying. At least that's how I'm taking it anyway. So
I don't see it unless, you know, he's agreeing, but he's saying it doesn't prove. I don't know what he's saying it doesn't prove, but that's what I'm saying. But Leon's my guy, man.
Yeah.
So he said, you know, let me bring up this other comment. He says, Adrian Hicks, the reason Maggie came here, the streams are the people that didn't block her and allow her to take part. I fucks with Maggie. Right. Now, again, I uploaded a portion of a video that I did called was it Shame? The Shame Game.
The Shame Game, yeah.
Right. And I uploaded that this morning. That wasn't a new stream. That was a segment of the Shame Game. If you were there, then you've seen that already. And I spoke on a few things and people are asking me about May and and all of this other stuff. And how people don't know who May is. I'm confused. I'm confused because this chick was running amok. But anyway, so now that we got that out of the way, is there any other part of that you want to address as far as like how that went or no?
Me? Nah. I mean, it's like I said, it's already been litigated. I don't know how many times at this point. And
right.
I think Shepard's issue with it is that, perhaps he's still talking about it. I don't know, because I don't really consume the dude's content. And like I mentioned to Shepard, whatever he does after I've already corrected the record live on one of his panels, whatever he decides to do from there forward, that's on him. I don't have any energy for it.
Right. So, yeah, because like I did a stream on it, right? I remember doing the tool stream, right? Did all of these things, right? And it's like, okay, once BGS say it, it's the final truth, right? And, all the King's horses and all the King's men can't tell y'all motherfuckers he lied to y'all, right? I mean, he even his CG like, prove it, you nigga. So so what I'm saying is like, yo, we said this shit repeatedly. It's like, yo, Keep It 100 can't tell you, yo, this is how it happened. You can't say this is how it happened. I believe that even after this stream, people will be like, but BGS said this. Like, god damn, like, yo, like it's crazy. But anyway, so I want to talk about the last stream we did, the politics as usual, right? And so during that stream, you didn't say much. And I mean, do you remember most of it? Like, because there was a couple of things that was said that you wanted to address or correct because you felt like they were expressed incorrectly. So I want you to let's start there.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there was anything really that I think I corrected, a lot of the dates and times and stuff like that, because that stuff is important when we're talking about reparations. We were, the panel was fuzzy about, when Jim Crow happened and, all of these different things. That stuff is important. And, I don't know if anybody was even familiar with I shouldn't say that because I don't know what the brothers, in the chat or in the panel, the last time know or don't know. So I'm not going to claim to, to know something I hadn't asked them personally. But, when we talk about reparations, the way that we frame it a lot of times is as if it just came up in the last, 2 to 3 years when, there was, a big movement going on, as early as 1890 with Callie House, who was born into slavery and was, by all accounts, the earliest proponent for reparations. And according to Dr. Sandy Darity, she had over 300,000 names and profiles, if you will, as much as you're going to have profiles back in that day, of ex-slaves, who their slave masters were, what plantations they were on, and things like that. And the U.S. government tracked this woman and even put her in jail for a year, because of her efforts to try to, get Black people together on reparations. It's interesting to me when we talk to brothers from the right, the term handout comes into play, or, whatever, this revisionist history about the events that lead us up to this point. It's not Black people's fault that, white folks have kicked the can, as it were, for 158 years now post slavery.
Right. So Yeah, when I hear handout, I only ever hear handout, and this is kind of something that I addressed on the stream. I don't care if it's reparation or anything else. I mean, when you giving things away, when the country is giving things away to people in the country or outside of the country, you never really hear the term handout mentioned until it's black people.
Right.
Nobody talks about handouts outside of the context of black people. You want to talk about Asians, you want to talk about anyone else, right? Then you get other words, you get aid, you get support, you get
benevolence, charity,
right, charity,
all kinds of stuff.
Right. So you get all these words, right? When you talk about the people from Europe who went through the 1940 thing, right?
Right.
Which didn't happen here, but we paid survivors, right? We paid them some money. And that was whatever that was called, but it wasn't called a handout. But anything in reference to black people is always a handout. It's always a handout.
Right.
Oh, why are you begging for a handout? Now, like we discussed before, I felt like when Tito was laying down his idea for reparations, I think that where he was coming from, he was trying to avert that argument. So like if he says, okay, well, not for slavery, but for Jim Crow, right? And his argument was pretty sound as far as the 14th Amendment and all of that stuff, right? It's pretty rock solid, right? If you violate rights guaranteed to you in the Constitution, you can sue for that. It applies to anything else, right? So why wouldn't it apply to that? Now, I know that you had a difference with that as far as him saying that no, not money, but tax exempt, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel, I feel what he's saying was said to get around motherfuckers going straight to, oh, you want a handout? Because that's usually the cop out that people that are anti-reparations use. They go straight to, oh, you're begging for money. So he said, no, don't give us money, give us tax exempt status.
I think not going for money is capitulating to those racist whites and the black people who are adjacent to that message,
right?
Typically far right, black folks, who are just as susceptible to racist messaging as bigoted white people, and my thing is you attack it head on. It's everything that he said, that we should get reparations for, and it's money, because the lead economist, again, Dr. Darity, in the space talking about reparations, I lost my train of thought there, but the lead economist, here it is, in the space, is saying that one of the major pillars of a reparations plan is to close the racial wealth gap. You're not going to do that with tax exemption. You're not going to do that with baby bonds. You're not going to do that with free school. That's not going to close the racial wealth gap.
So shout out to Leon. He says, Adrian Hicks, tax, keep it 100. Right. So thank you for the super chat. So no, I agree with that. Right. But I'm just like I told you before, saying what my thoughts are on why he made that argument. But I do agree with what you're saying, is by doing that, you're kind of like playing to that. Right.
Yeah.
But my thoughts are this, and this is my position. Check tax exempt status. Not, I think he said there was a time period. I say period. That's where I come from with it. Like,
say that again, bro.
No, my position on tax exempt status is, why make it a time period?
Yeah.
Why make it a time period? Like, yeah, why make it a time period?
I mean, you know, you've heard me mention the 1975 Indochina Immigration Act. You know, when we closed down the Vietnam War and we started bringing all those people from over there in Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, and places like that over here, they got money, business incentives, tax incentives, and school incentives, but they also got money. Right.
Right. So right.
Yeah.
So Maggie says Native Americans are and have been and will continue to be tax exempt. I think that a lot of this argument, like I know a lot of you recently have been hearing the argument that Black people like were here in North America, right?
Mhm.
Now, is typically an argument that I like to stay away from because people are like really invested. Is very few arguments that I avoid, this being one of them. I've said to people, it's not far-fetched to me the idea that Africans reached North America before Europeans. It's not far-fetched.
Yeah, Ivan Van Sertima wrote a whole book about it and says they came before Columbus. That was the title of the
Right.
book.
Right. But what I'm hearing a lot of people doing is they're trying to say that the majority of Black people here were here already. The majority. And that slave ships and all of this stuff didn't happen. Right. And you know, that all of this type of stuff, right? And that and I think they're trying to turn that into an argument for reparations by basically saying, well, we're the true Native Americans or some type of shit like that, right?
Mhm.
So I don't even think all of that's necessary to do. Because then you got to jump leaps and bounds, right? But you know, again, I accept that Black people touched the continent first, but to say that there were no slave ships is a bit much for me, right? You know, I don't think that well, if they came here on the ship, they can't be indigenous. It is my belief, right? It's my belief no one is indigenous to North America. That's my belief. I believe that everyone migrated here at some point and some people before others. But Nick, if Africans came here on a boat before Europeans, then they're not indigenous. Indigenous means something else. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's the point. But so at any rate, right. So at any rate, what else were we? You know what? Let's talk about Trump for a second. Are we done with the other thing?
Yeah, I'm good on it. I mean, if something else comes across, then I'll circle back. You know, I do want to add something to the back and forth earlier, talking about minimum wage. Minimum wage has gone up $4 in 40 years, right? From just over 3 something to 7.25. Meanwhile, average CEO pay has gone up between 300% and 400%. And we're arguing against the little guy getting, I mean,
$31,000.
Really? What is that? I think that's like 8,000 over the poverty line. I mean, so you're barely making it. And then we've already seen that, you know, reports that one of the largest employers of Americans, which is Walmart, when you get on, they help you navigate the process of being able to get SNAP benefits because they ain't going to pay you enough to be able to have a living wage. So, you know, you have to be subsidized by taxpayers just to work at Walmart. You know, but we're going to argue against the living wage. That's crazy to me.
Hey, Mike, how many? I mean, Ferg, how many times did you mute this nigga, man? You can't in perpetuity time a nigga out, man.
Yeah, I think it's like 64,000 seconds or something like that.
64,000 seconds.
Which
Is that what it
24
said?
hours.
Bro, chill the fuck out. I don't even know how to undo it.
I don't think it can be undone. But hey, look, at least it wasn't me for once, you know.
Bro, no 24-hour timeouts, man. You know what I'm saying?
You still ain't found Gababe after.
Yeah, Gababe lost in the sauce. Yo, Rick is a regular dude on the channel, bro. You can't block him for 24 hours, my nigga. The fuck are you doing? Yo, man. Yo, I don't want this to become a channel where niggas abuse wrenches, man. Y'all got to chill, man. Yo, you got to chill, man. Yo, chill, man. For real. Chill. You gotta chill. So at any rate, yeah, wow.
64,000 seconds is crazy work. I love it though.
So yeah, man, crazy. So yeah, the fuck, man. Yo,
you know, a couple days ago, you and I were having a conversation about the different factions of the Democratic Party. You know, the corporatist side versus the far left, and how they're really distinctly different. You know, if
right.
You need to talk about that.
Well, before we do that, hold on, I gotta send this dude a text. Before we do that, I wanted to touch on this whole tariff thing, right? With Trump, right? So let me share my screen real quick. So I want to go through a couple articles. Hold on. So the tariff situation. Trump threatens new tariffs on Canada, including 250% tax on dairy. I don't know if that's true. The 250,000, because then I see another. Hold on, let me go to another one. So I see something else. U.S. tariffs on Canada and Mexico enter
I've seen
into
25%. I hadn't heard.
Right, 10 to 20%. Now I don't know what is this CNN 250. Now, before we get into the tariff discussion, I have to point out that issue that, okay, this is CNN. Now, I don't know if CNN is left leaning or right leaning, but yeah, this was seen to me to be a lie that they're pushing. Right now, look, I don't agree with Trump. I see his sentiment. I do. I don't agree with everything he's doing.
Wait, what do you see his sentiment as being with this tariff thing?
Okay, so this is what I mean by that. He's saying that we're being charged, right, for things that we export into Canada, right? So he's saying, okay, well, if you're going to charge us, we're going to charge you. I can understand that sentiment, although I don't think that we're in a position to do it. You understand what I'm saying? Without being. Go ahead.
What I had heard about this whole tariff thing and the genesis of it is stopping the flow of fentanyl across the border. And his way of pushing the issue is that if you don't stop the flow of fentanyl across the border, then we'll tariff your goods. Okay, that's what he had done to Mexico. And even just as early as yesterday, I was hearing an expert in the subject talk about how they'd only recovered 42 pounds of fentanyl across the Canadian border in total.
Yeah,
so it's it's just silly, what he's doing. And I could be wrong as two left shoes, and I'm sure that people in the chat feel free to disagree with me, obviously. But I see this whole discussion about tariffs as just a kind of a bully tactic, and it's a desperation tactic, in my opinion. Find a different way to compete. Because the people who pay for the taxes is me and pay for the tariffs is me and you.
Right. Because that's what they say. They say that we pay for these tariffs, not nobody else. I mean, they're gonna pass it right down.
Now, some businesses like I think Porsche decided to start up a factory as a result of these tariffs. Start up a factory in the United States to produce product. To try to stave off some of the tariffs. But, I worked in the car business for 20 years. And when you look on that Monroney sticker, it'll show you the percentage of where everything comes from to build that automobile. It'll show you all the countries and what percentage, that all those parts came from. You aren't just sourcing all your parts from America to build even an American car. Most of your American cars are built in Mexico. So you're going to charge tariffs on the same people who build your cars, but he's going to back off of that. I bet you, or
he's done it twice, hasn't he? Yeah. He's done it twice, hasn't he? Hasn't he pushed shit back
tariffs
twice?
Are on and then they're off and then they're on again and then they're off. Here's some loophole just for the car business. He doesn't know what he wants to
do. Brothers, we got to admit, again, I understand what he's saying. Hey, you're going to charge us? We're going to charge you back, right? But it's not going to work, man. It's really not going to work. And I think that, everybody who's saying like, yeah, let's do that. Like, it's going to hit y'all. It's going to hit all of us kind of hard, man. Like this shit is not a game. Shout out to Salty. He said, respectfully, 42 pounds is a lot of pinch of a pinch of Fenty can take somebody's life, but I see your point.
Absolutely right. He's right. He's absolutely right. In the big scheme of things, Saul is right. I'm just looking at the sheer amount of fentanyl coming over from Canada versus what's coming up from Mexico.
Yeah, because
one pill can take you out. So
but it's not the Escobar shipment,
right?
That's all we saying. Like, it's not the Escobar shipment, right? So, okay. So on March 2025, March 3rd, Trump administration has made clear its intention to move forward with implementing tariffs on Canada and Mexico on March 4th. Now here we are on the 7th.
Mm-hmm.
This shit ain't happened, has it? I think that, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I'm going to be real honest with you. He's gone on and off so many times. I don't know where we sit right now.
I think that a lot of these things are going to go the way of the border wall from the last situation.
Yeah.
Look, a lot of the things that he's saying, some of the things that he's saying, I ain't mad at. But I also don't think that he'll be able to deport all these people that he's talking about. I think that, it's like a border wall type of promise. Like, yes, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that, and then it's hard to actually push forward. You know what I mean? Like, how do you? Now, the other thing that I'm seeing, I want your opinion on this, is the reluctance from each of these cities that he's trying to get them to deport people. Right? All of these people voted to do something about this migrant crisis. But now the local governments are not cooperating. Have you peeped this?
Yeah. So like you had J.D. Pritzker grandstanding talking about you have to come through me to get these migrants in Illinois. I have an opinion on that, but my opinion is maybe not what you're looking for. To me, it's kind of disgraceful because here you have a Democratic governor, and I mean, maybe somebody in the chat could tell me different, but I've never seen a situation ever where a Democratic governor, stood up to a president saying that they're ever going to do anything, for Black people with that kind of energy, as an example. So that's where my opinion, is on that matter, is where was all this energy? Where was all this fight, for the folks who make up the base of your party?
So, okay, Trump backs down on tariffs amid Wall Street plunge. So, we know that the whole tariff issue has affected stock prices.
Mm-hmm.
The other question is, okay, so now I think Trudeau made this whole speech about, we just want to be your allies. We're nice people. Listen, that, and third, yada, 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 blah, 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 right?
Yeah, they're our number one trading partner, if I'm not mistaken.
So why do they charge us tariffs? Like, why, if that's the case, if we're so great together, right? Why not say, hey, you know what? Let us either reduce or drop the shit on our end, so then you don't feel this way. Like if we're allies for real, right? Then why not that sentiment? Why not that energy coming from that side? Like, you know what? Like, because everybody's charging it, like Nick say, is we getting hit now. So like whatever tariff they charging, we paying the American people. So if we're gonna say Trump, no, don't hit them with the tariff at the same time, it's like, okay, why not from that side do they say, if y'all feel that way about it, let's talk about it. Let's say, you know what, we charge you 10, and let's not charge 10, let's charge 5, or let's charge nothing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, do we charge Canada and Mexico a tariff at all pre-Trump?
Well, I understand what you're saying, but the other factor that has to be factored into this is that we're hearing this from Trump.
What part of it?
Well, I'm just saying, if it's, oh, they're overcharging us for goods, or they're doing whatever. This dude lies. I don't know what's, and I'm not saying that he owns the patent online, right? Both sides of the political spectrum lie all the time.
No, right? I get it.
But with this dude, you just don't ever know what's the truth with this guy.
But do we have to go based on what he say? And when I asked that
for ourselves,
right, you can find out what the numbers are, right? Yeah. You don't need him to tell us. It's kind of like CNN with the 250% shit, right? So what I'm saying is, okay, whatever that number is, and we don't have to get that from Trump. We can get that. We can look that up and find out what the Canada tariffs are to exports going into Canada, like how much we pay, right, in tariffs to export to them, right? So why not reach some amicable number if you are our allies, like you say you are? You don't get to say, well, no, we cool, right? But we gonna take your money. You ain't gonna charge us shit, but we gonna take your money. But we cool.
I'm
trying to understand this.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be trying to understand it too, but I don't know that I have an expert answer on that.
But this is the sentiment that when I say I kind of get the sentiment.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. Shout out to Saul T. He says alternative perspective protectism may actually help the Rust Belt. Remember, NAFTA and a few other trade agreements took out the black blue collar middle class. Cheap goods hurts labor too. Understood.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So yeah, cheap goods or cheap services.
That was brought to us. NAFTA was brought to us by Clinton, if I recall correctly. So
and to go,
please correct me if I'm wrong on that, Saul. But if I'm not mistaken, as I've been on the planet long enough, I believe that was brought in by Clinton.
I mean, even to go back into the thing that me and Rick was talking about, it's like, okay, either you bring in the cheap labor. If you don't want to bring in the cheap labor, if you're going to say, no, we can't bring in migrants, then you have to give people the living wage to do the job that the migrants will do.
Yeah.
You have to. You have to. Because even after the migrants been here long enough, they can't live off it. If they plan to stay. So either you do one of those two things. The other solution is you offshore it. So that the people that would be migrants get to stay where they are, and you can pay them anything over there. And there's big money to them over there. But now you complain about it's offshore. You can't have it all way. You can't have it. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say there's another component to being able to keep migrants in their country. You know, our foreign policy has to be such that we aren't over there fucking up their economies either. You know, if we subsidize corn here and it fucks with, you know, a corn farmer in Mexico and he goes under because, you know, ours is incredibly cheap, or, you know, what we did to Haiti and their rice and their pork markets, you know, or, you know, destabilizing their currencies or replacing their leaders and things like that. There's a lot of reasons why they're coming up here, you know, because we created the hell that they live in.
Yeah, and there's that too, right? So whether we created it or not, right?
Yeah.
Whether we created it or not, right? My point is you can't have it both ways. We can't complain about migrants if you don't want to pay American workers. You ain't got to pay them to be rich for this unskilled labor, but you got to pay them enough because they're getting hit in the head for the cost of living out this motherfucker. Now, unless you want somebody to hit you in the head in the back alley, right? When you get paid, yo degreed paycheck. Because I don't got a degree, I'm gonna get my check because I deserve to get 100,000, 120,000. Then that dude that you don't think should get 30,000 is beating you in the head for the difference. Because in real life, the bills don't stop. You got to live somewhere, you got to keep it warm, you got to power the place, all of these things. Right? So in order to do that, there's a baseline number in every city that you gotta give people. And if they're not able to do nothing else, they're able to live somewhere and flip a light switch.
Well, it's hard to live somewhere now because you allowed all the corporations to come in and buy up all the housing.
And there's that too.
You know,
so you create these impossible situations, but you still got people saying, well, you should be able to do this and this and this.
Well, I mean, just 3 years ago, we were able to buy eggs. We can't now. I'm joking, but you know what I'm saying.
I do.
I think Adric is onto it as well. You know, where he's talking about the solution is for corporations to reduce shareholder dividends and pay increases in employees' wages. You know, and CEOs need to take a haircut. You know, I don't know when we got into this billionaire worship business. You know, how much is enough?
Right. It's not like some of these motherfuckers went and got these degrees that we're saying people should have to get 30 grand an hour. Because I take it when I hear stuff like that, right? When I hear, you know, that $15 is too much to flip burgers, right? $15 an hour. It tells me that the people who are saying it feel like that the McDonald's worker is coming close to their salary that they make and they got an education. See, if you got an education, right, and you got a degree, whether it be associate's, master's, whatever you got, and you feel like, well, the McDonald's worker needs to do what I did to get this amount. That amount should be close to what you got or what you're getting with your degree. And if it's not, then what's the problem? If you have a degree and you're making six figures, but you think that a McDonald's worker should make less than 30K, what the fuck are you talking about? Like 30K, bro.
And maybe McDonald's is the wrong example, but you know, how many people went and got their degree and aren't even working in the field that they went and got that expensive degree in, and now they're working at McDonald's. And maybe it's not McDonald's, all right? So, you know, y'all chill out. But you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Is he not allowed, is that person not allowed to have a house or a car or whatever based upon, you know, the fact that he participated in the American experiment, did everything that people told him that he's supposed to go do, got the degree, everything like that, gets out there, and there's no job.
Right, because everybody can't get the medical. Everybody can't get the law. everybody can't do these jobs that, you know, that we worship. Because it's not just billionaire worship, it's also like, you know, we worship lawyers.
Right.
He's a lawyer, he knows what he's talking about, right?
Exactly,
So
right.
right. So, you know, if you got any sort of education, I mean, if this space isn't proof of that, like we kind of hold high the PhDs, right?
Yeah.
And you know, not to say that we should throw them under the bus, but at the end of the day, it's like, what's the degree in?
Right.
You go to school for anything.
Right. I got
Then if
told
you're a
I
lawyer,
need to
go ahead.
I got told I need to listen to a brother about reparations because he was a PhD. I look up the brother and he had a PhD in theology.
Right.
Like, come on, man.
So, you know, you get a degree. I'm going back and forth with this guy on Facebook. He has I don't know if I said it to you. He shoved his liberal arts degree in my face. Like, liberal arts. So you got a license for that? Are you a licensed liberal artist?
I got a degree. I got a school degree in school.
Like, I got an associate's in knitting. You should listen to me, right? This type of shit.
Right.
You say, I got a degree in underwater basket weaving. So this is what I'm talking about. We worship this. All appeals to authority, right? And in this case, I guess appeals to academia, maybe, if that's a fallacy, right? But I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying, like, that's what we follow. Like, you put somebody in a white jacket and hang a stethoscope around his neck, and he becomes the authority on it all. Or if he stands next to him, right? Then he's the authority.
Right.
That's a shot, y'all. That's a shot.
I know you're taking too many shots here, bro.
But
you're getting shot up over here.
All I'm saying is, man, you know, that's a fail. But anyway, like I said, I do understand. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen with this, but I just feel like with all of these things going on, that just contributes to the argument that I'm making in the conversation about wages and things like that. Like, all of these decisions that are going to be made either at the federal level or state level is going to affect us.
Yeah.
Now, we could talk bravado and all that other shit, but if the price of everything double, just imagine paying $20 for a box of cereal. Right? I'm just saying, you know, $15 for a carton of milk. Now, we export dairy to Canada, correct?
I can't answer that question with any assuredness. I'm gonna say yes. I'll go along with what you're saying.
So let me go to one of these articles. I think I still got these things open. The dairy and something else. Okay, so let me see. Canada has been ripping us off for years on lumber and on dairy products, Trump said in an Oval Office citing Canada's roughly 250% tariff on U.S. dairy exports to the country. I don't think that's correct. I think the 250% number might be crazy. I'd have to look that up. But he said he would match those tariffs dollar for dollar. So yeah, we send them lumber and dairy.
Okay.
And we're being charged. They're charging the tariff on that. Right. So yeah. I don't know. I guess that gets passed down to us. Maybe, you know, I don't know. I don't know how all of this stuff works, but I just know that a lot of these people are in better positions than we are in this situation.
Right.
You know, I mean, I don't know where else they can get this stuff from. Because if they decide to do this trade war with us, if they decide not to import this stuff, I don't know what happens then. But I'm just saying. Was there any?
I'm putting into the I'm pasting into the chat for you to pull up.
Where's that?
On the private chat side of
right.
StreamYard.
So
for you to pull up.
Let me click that, and then I want you to we're gonna go into a couple of the other things that you wanted to say during that stream. Okay. All right, so let me pull this up.
Had you seen this report before?
No, I haven't seen this. I haven't seen this. So let me open that up.
This is a report from Citigroup talking about how much the practice of racism has cost the U.S. And I think that this was just since 2000.
Nah, yeah, I've spoken on this before, but okay. I've never seen this. But go ahead, I'm listening.
And the number is 16 trillion. So, again, just because they won't, hire Black people, or we, want to continue with racist practices, it's America is willing to cost itself money in order to make sure that you're unemployed. And that's crazy. When I was pulling this report up, at the very top of the search, because I knew what I was searching for, but at the very top of the search, there was an update from 2024. Now they're saying that's about 21 trillion. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that we have a $32 trillion deficit or something like that.
So me personally, I've often spoken on what I think, how, or at least how the country is hurt by racism. If you nerf a percentage of your population, you hurt your country.
Yeah.
Right. So this is why you have to import talent from other places.
Right. Because
so when they're talking,
I'm sorry, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
No, because when Trump talks about, we have to get the talent from wherever we have to get it from. Right. So then, because you kind of, you hinder your own population from being the talent that you have. How is it that you got to go to India? Would you consider India a third world country?
Oh yeah, they shit outside.
So you go to
not everybody, but a high percentage. More people in India shit outside than any place else on earth. So whatever.
Right. So you're importing people from a third world country, and they're more skilled at a thing than people in this first world country.
Well, they're not stupid. You'll pay them to do it. Right. So for example, I spend a lot of time in different, activist spaces, here where I'm from. And I often hear us talking about how, nobody in the community can even frame a wall or build a house. Okay. Well, that's because for the last, I don't know how many years, you haven't been hiring Black folks to do that. Right. Because, typically you're going to get your professional life skills from your father, your grandfather, somebody like that. You're going to go out, on the weekend, and your granddad's going to take you someplace and, show you what he does for work. And he's going to have you, hey, pass me that hammer, pass me that wrench, whatever. I know I spent a lot of days underneath a car with my father because he was a master mechanic. Right. And, Marcus, me outside of this, what is one of my passions? Cars. Where did I get that from? Got it from my father. But if that man is laid off of his construction job, he's probably going to tell you, hey, you need to go to school and go become an accountant or something like that. Don't become a fence builder or a framer or a painter like me, because they ain't hiring us to do it.
Right. But I got you. But it's one thing to learn things from your father. It's another thing to attain a skill in a poor country that people in a rich country can't afford to go to school and learn.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say that again. How does a person in a poor country, who's poor because he's in the poor country, get an education that you can't get living here? Because in this rich country, you can't pay the tuition to get that skill. Now, before anybody jumps in and say, oh, no, you got to pay. It's almost like Americans practice beliefs that fuck their own shit up, right? Not just America and its racism, but it's the victims of the same racism. They'll actually support the racist ideology that hinders them from being the people that can do the thing. And then we look at black people like, y'all niggas uneducated, y'all stupid, da, 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 da. And there's so many people that could have done that thing if we pushed them in that direction. How come, you would have, and like the idea would be, okay, let's take the qualified people and give them scholarships to learn this thing that we need. And then in the next few generations, we won't need to import people.
I just did a quick search, and higher education in India is subsidized by the government.
Didn't take rocket science to figure that out, though.
Right.
Because the people ain't got it.
But then you have to ask yourself, why isn't higher education subsidized any longer here in America?
Right.
And I think we all know that answer.
Right. Because you want to keep certain people from getting the education. Used to be free, but then we gonna price niggas out. So now you handicap a portion of your population. So you make the country weaker, because we're here, we're Americans too. So so for everybody who feels like, why, oh, you want free education now?
Gotta compete.
See, y'all niggas always want free shit. God damn it. So Maggie says, education here is subsidized for some. Yeah. Yeah. For some. And then for others, get the fuck out of here. You can't pay? Fuck out of here. But again, there's a cost for that. We don't mind sending Negroes to war, and they play the ball game, and these sorts of things, right? But they can't be your thought leader or your STEM or any of this stuff. Yeah. We're gonna import some people for that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They again, subsidized by the government, where, like you said, they shit outside, but we get all the best and the brightest motherfuckers from this shit outside nation.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because there was a chance that if they subsidized education here, some of you Negroes might get an education. Can't have that. Same thing with health insurance. We talked about that the last time.
And some of you niggas might cure something.
Yeah.
Right? Some of you niggas, right, might figure some shit out. All these things that we're in a race, you see all these stories about, the little prodigy black kid, and he figured this out, and he made a car with water, or he split molecules or some shit like that.
Right.
Again, you put yourself in a position where you're behind because, I forgot the guy's name. He was on Cam Newton's show, one of these businessmen, and he said there's not enough college educated white men in America to push GDP up. Did you see that clip?
No, I didn't see that one.
I forgot the guy's name. I know one of y'all seen that shit. I forgot this guy's name, but he's like one of these black businessmen. And he was talking about that shit, but he was talking about it as if that meant, well, because we don't have enough white men, that we gonna get some non-white men in America to do it. And I'm like, no, you just either import or you outsource. You send the job overseas to where they are, or you bring them here, right? You let them, like Trump said, oh, we're going to give you a citizenship if you can come over here and do this thing that we need you to do. You got all these people here, but you don't want to put them. And if they ask, can you put us in position to help the country so you don't have to import? Oh, you entitled. You're entitled. So the handout goes to the guy that they bring over here. Give him a free citizenship, right? Right? That ain't the handout, right? That ain't the handout. The handout is when they get one of you niggas the education to do the shit with the salary to do it. That's when it becomes a handout.
It's also a wedge, to say, well, this guy came over here and all he had was $5 in his pocket, and look at him now. Why can't you black people do that?
Right. Why can't one of you niggas?
So, again, this all circles back to reparations for me. This is why I can't understand why black people are against reparations, or, won't speak, with a full-throated response about reparations. It's always some compromise. No one else compromised in getting what was owed to them.
So we're almost out of here. So Maggie says Afghanistan has received almost $3 billion in aid, and now they're in talks to pay Afghanistan reparations. So speaking of reparations, you mentioned something about you was gonna speak on who got reparations, right? And I think you had a list of people that you wanted to talk about.
Just going off the top of my head, I mean, obviously we know that the Jews got reparations for World War II. The slave owners in this country got reparations. If we want to, take it, again, overseas, Haiti paid France reparations for Haiti becoming free, which is crazy. Obviously the Japanese, and again, from our standpoint, we even pay into. I was listening today. They said that we've given Israel $7 trillion.
So
over the year,
right, and Roy,
not necessarily for the Holocaust, but I'm talking about in support of their state,
and
in support of their defense and everything like that. So
shit, I don't care what the fuck you call it.
Right,
it's a handout. So like Reynolds say, he's talked about Japan. So then Japan got their reparations check, right? Ooh, sorry, we blew your shit up. Here's some money. Kobe 42 says, John Hope Bryant. So John Hope Bryant, thanks, Kobe. John Hope Bryant was the guy that was on Cam Newton's podcast talking about, it's not enough educated white guys to push GDP. So obviously that has to go to someone else. Yeah, nobody here, motherfucker. Nobody here. Right? It's that's some Thomas Sowell type bullshit, right?
Yeah.
That you know what I'm saying? Dude sounds intelligent, right? He's an economic. Okay. All right. It's some Thomas Sowell type shit. Yeah, whatever, my nigga. Anyway, yeah. So look, all this money going to all these places. If you add all that shit up, motherfuckers, we ain't got it, but you add all that shit up. And then Rick talking about, no, raising the minimum wage causes inflation. No, not money to Ukraine, not money to, Israel, not money to, all of this other shit we talking about.
Yeah.
No, raising the minimum wage raises inflation.
Right. Because it's funny because, we'll fight each other to the death over whether or not somebody on the bottom of the income scale gets another $7. But I think they said that Elon's wealth increased 158 billion just after the election of Trump. And we celebrate that, which is crazy to me.
What's crazy to me is we've become like, remember the only people that did that was like Republican white folks, because they somehow saw themselves as, I could be one of them.
You talking about celebrating Elon?
No, they used to celebrate like
Oh.
the poor Republican white person would celebrate the billionaire because they saw in their eyes they had a clear path to being that guy.
Yeah.
When did you niggas start thinking this way?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because I'm seeing a lot of us celebrating that now. Oh, he a businessman, you know. That dude don't give a shit about you.
Conservatism has become popular in a way that I've not in my lifetime. I've never seen it popular.
Yeah.
And there's conservative views that you guys know that I'm aligned with. You know what I mean? But now it's kind of like the same way that the left defends his ugly side, right? I find the new conservatives, right? Because it's new conservatives, right? You know, they're defending a lot of the ugly shit on the right for the shit on the right that they like. And the left does the same thing. They defend the weird shit because, you know, because Medicaid and this and this and this and this and whatever. So
now, this goes into our conversation from the other day, but do you think that that's for us, do you think that's a natural backlash for how far certain factions of the Democrat Party, which most of us black folks belong to, you know, have done over the years? That's my question to you.
Say again now.
Do you think that what we're seeing now from these, you know, new black conservatives that, you know, have outlandish positions, do you think that that's just a natural backlash for, you know, what we're seeing on the far left?
I mean, they pushed it too far. So like the more extreme you go, I mean, every action has an equal opposite reaction. So the further left you push, when that shit swing right, it's gonna swing right hard.
Yeah.
So and I try to explain this to Democrats, and all they can come up with is Kamala lost because she's a black woman. That's their defense. Never mind the goofy campaign. Never mind that, you know, you have more black women in government than black men. So America doesn't have a problem voting for black women.
Right.
Black women are the black people. To be honest, if you want to make an argument, you're better off saying woman than black woman, right? Because, you know, Hillary ain't shit black about her. She lost too. And she lost the primary.
I think that more of us, more black men voted for Hillary than they did for Kamala, if I remember the numbers.
So
we obviously don't have a problem with voting for women.
Right. Not us. Ask the women. You know, the same bitches that don't go to the WNBA games. You ask Trump who his biggest demographic was. Both times. It ain't us.
Yeah, one of them was white men and the other one was white women.
Right. In a major way. So, you know, and these are the women that you think against Trump because he's supposed to be this misogynist and he's against all their rights, and he want to take all their rights away, and their right to abort, and their right to do this, and their right to do that, and all the benefits that they're getting, and this and this and this and this, right? So, you know, you would think that they would be like, oh, nah, we can't have him because we need this stuff. And they vote for him.
Yeah, I mean,
because they hate the black woman.
I believe that they vote for him. This is my own personal opinion. You know, I believe that they vote for him like that because he'll still make a spectacle of trying to put his foot in black folks' ass. You know, with all this conversation about what's woke and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying?
But do you think? But woke is not exclusive to us. In 2024, 2025. DEI, woke, all of this stuff, it's not exclusive to us.
Yeah, but it's still a pejorative for black.
Kind of, sort of. Yeah, I get what you're saying. You know, go ahead.
It's the dog whistle.
I think that when, especially now, like when you talk about DEI, especially, right? Because there's one thing to talk about affirmative action, but to me, it's one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a few more groups have been tacked on for modern flair, right? And they say these things. I think that when they communicate DEI, right, it tends to be a dog whistle, but it's definitely not a dog whistle who the shit benefits. So when you talk about, like, you say woke, you might be dog whistling black, but what woke is actually defending ain't black.
Yeah, but do you
It's
think
the other shit?
Do you think that you're going to get the average? I mean, you're on Facebook, man. I mean, you see what your white friends are typing about. They don't know that half of the stuff that is going on is aimed at them, but all they see is a strong man who's deporting illegals and kicking black folks in the ass. And good luck trying to convince them that they in the crosshairs too.
No, they probably know. They probably know. Like I'm of the belief that there is a willingness. It's like another observation I made, right? Hollywood is willing to lose millions making movies that we don't want to see, putting shit in there that we don't want to see. Right? They've been losing left and right because they've been putting this weird shit in the movies, right? Mm-hmm. Then you got the country itself, like, matter of fact, the left, right? The left will say, you know what, we want to fight these causes, even if it loses us an election. Right? They when me and you were talking about the whole Bill Maher thing and shit like that. Yeah. And Bill Maher told old boy, he said, look, if you want to continue losing elections, keep pushing this weird shit. Mm-hmm. As long as they push these agendas, right, they're not gonna win.
Oh, no.
I don't care what you throw on top of it. Again, it's just like the thing. Again, I'm using this as an example. They're willing to take, like, the people who are voting for Trump to keep out the weird shit. They're willing to take everything that come with it. There's L's to take. I told people, I said, before this election, I said, yo, both ways you gonna take an L. So let's say, for instance, right? They cut Medicaid and they cut Social Security. And, he's doing all this other wild shit with the agencies and shit like that. And people are like, he's going to save us some money. Yeah. All right. Look for that extra bread on your check. Now, I'm not anti-Trump or pro-Trump. I'm looking to see what the fuck is going to happen that will benefit people on either side. I will also say I needed the Democrats to lose because they were too entitled to black vote. And I understood the L that came with.
Yeah, because then you get all this crazy wild shit.
Right.
But, the thing with Democrats, because you hear it right now, a lot of people say, well, you didn't vote for Kamala or whatever. I didn't vote for Trump either. But right. What I don't see in the Democratic Party is, okay, so let's say that you got Kamala in. Okay, let's say that she went 4 years. Let's say that she went 8. Mm-hmm. This whole idea, this whole notion of Project 2025 that goes all the way back to Nixon. You think they can't wait you out another 4 to 8 years to implement what they want to implement?
Right.
And do you have a 10, 20 year strategy to keep Republicans out of office? I mean, good luck. And what we just saw with the rebuttal to Trump's speech the other day from Senator Slotkin is that the Democrats haven't learned anything. They're going to double down on one end. They're going to double down on becoming even more Republican, because she said more stuff about Ronald Reagan than she said about any Democrat in her speech. So, they're pivoting to, well, let's try to become even more Republican. And, like you and I talked about, if Republicans have an opportunity to vote for a Republican or a Republican with a rainbow flag, they're going to vote for the real Republican. So you're going to lose. And then on the far fringe of the party, you have, all the identity politics and, the trans issues, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to get, too far off into that.
Yeah, gender affirming and all this other stuff. It's like,
they had a way to win. And I'll get flack for this, but they had a way to win when Bernie was running in 16.
I got flack for that on Facebook. Yeah. Let's go to Kobe. Kobe says, whether it's SYSBM or passport, Black men in the States, no matter the group, person, or company, approaches you within the future, your response should be, what is your offer? Deal or no deal? I don't know what this is in reference to. I mean, I agree with it, but I don't know what this was in reference to. But maybe he's talking about like political parties, maybe. Right? Kobe, you'll let me know. Thanks for the super chat. Right? This is the thing, right? Again, you have people who are in effect choosing their children over whatever else they lose with a Republican administration.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that people are crazy. Why would they vote for him? Because y'all are coming for the children. You're coming for the children. That's not even something you can argue.
Yeah.
And they talking about hiding shit from the parents. So you send your kid to school and they having all these conversations with them that you prefer them not to have.
And that's big. That's an example of big government to the right.
But what I'm trying to understand is with that, and I don't want to get too deep. I don't want to make that the discussion. But what is the end goal with that? You put me on to the, what is it, the NAMBLA?
Yeah.
Who in here, put a one in the chat if you know what NAMBLA is. Am I saying it right? NAMBLA, right?
Yeah.
N-A-M-B-L-A,
I believe.
Yeah, NAMBLA. NAMBLA. I'm laughing because I know what it stands for. Yeah, NAMBLA. Now, I was already aware that people were pushing it. I just didn't know that there was an organization with a name. And the way I feel about it is, okay, I'm gonna say some crazy shit right now, right? Let's keep it real, right? Let's keep it real. People of a certain persuasion like to convert people not of that persuasion into that persuasion. Let's not bullshit. Let's not bullshit. Okay? And the old boy in the interview with Umar, and I know you're not a fan of his, but the guy in the interview.
Yeah.
He said, well, there's this idea that they're trying to recruit people. Motherfucker, they are. They are. One of the things that's true about people of a certain persuasion is they like to convert people not of that persuasion. They find people not of that persuasion attractive because it's like a challenge to convert them. Right? It's like the Keisha that wants to turn the thug into the CEO. So this idea, no, they're not trying to recruit people. Then what is the end game for this? With all this stuff, pushing it into schools and this and that and the other, what is the end game? What is the point? What is the point of, approaching these children behind their parents' back in school and pushing these stuff into the curriculum? What are you trying to do?
Right.
If you had a kid that says, I identify as this, and you want to send them to a guidance counselor or someone that can understand what their issue is and the struggle that they're going through, that's one thing. But to take all the kids and put them through this ringer, what is the agenda here?
Well, and you and I talked about this the other day. I think everybody in the chat probably has some family member or something like that who's a part of the the LGBT community, right? I know I do.
Yeah.
And I'm fine. I'm fine with them. I don't see them any different. They're still my family. It's all good. No problems. And I think that in the Black community, especially, we kind of have a live and let live kind of mentality. Everybody knew what was going on with the organ player at the church. Okay. It's not a big deal.
Or the preacher
even, right? But, and again, you and I discussed this on the far left. It's like, if you're not accepting everything that goes on with anything that they're championing at the moment, then it's a problem. And then you become a Trump supporter and all these other pejoratives. You know what I'm talking about?
Right. I mentioned NAMBLA to say this. It becomes a very slippery slope when you're trying to, be extremely liberal about your approach to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely liberal. And it's not, it's only a matter of time until something like that shows up and says, hey, what about us? Can we come to the party? Y'all letting everyone else in. Everyone else is identifying as this, and this. So it only stands to reason that you let us in. We have a preference, a sexual preference.
Right. And, I was telling you that they were even having TED Talks, flirting with trying to add the P to the alphabet.
Right. Now, from what I understand, the LGBTQ people have kind of distanced themselves away from this. But it's just like, I never understood women's support for the TS. And let me explain why. I never got it. I never understood. I had this conversation with a woman. I said, first of all, you fought for your rights. Okay. You got your own sports. Okay. And all a motherfucker has to do is say, hey, I'm one of you. Never going through anything that you've went through. Never having a cycle. Never dealing with anything. Never dealing with whatever fear that y'all walk with when y'all walking down the street and, a bunch of men is the street harassment. Whatever it is that you deal with on a daily basis as a woman. Never really going through this stuff. Just able to say, hey, I'm one of you. It's like somebody saying, hey, I'm Black too.
Yeah.
So, if we see this play out with Drake, you see how they doing him. And that's a whole separate conversation. But what I'm saying is, I never understood it. I never understood it because then somebody just gets to claim what you are. And then they get what you get.
Go ahead and highlight Maggie's comment right there. That sums it up.
Then they get what you fought for. Okay, white men colonized womanhood and totally effed up female identity. Yeah.
There it is.
Okay. But then Black men joined the party. Right? I get what she's saying. You know, Jenner, right?
Mm.
But then
Woman
black
of the
men,
year wasn't even a woman a whole year.
right, right. But I'm trying to understand, how do you hand your shit that you fought for over to the same guys you fought for it with? Now,
you're not expecting an answer from me, right? Because I have no idea.
no, but see, Maggie said white men colonized womanhood, but white women championed it. And black women too. It'd be one thing if white men were the ones saying, I'm a woman too. And like there was an overwhelming response from women like, no, you're not. I didn't see that. So they didn't steal it. It was given to them. Women sold white men womanhood for what? $23 in trinkets. They sold Manhattan.
Well, I think the debate heated up when, you know, the white men came in and started, you know, relabeling women. You know, you can't call yourself a woman. You're a, what do they say, a birthing person? And crazy nonsense like that.
And they still do it. The blue haired and the green haired and the pink haired females. And she said, newsflash, we're gullible. We believed they were what they said. Then they took it. But that was we said, I remember, Adrian, I've been on Facebook talking all this shit the way I've been talking for years. And I told these chicks, me and Bae, we told them, this shit ain't going to work out for y'all. Right? No, you're just mad and you're a hater and you're phobic and all of this shit, right? You're phobic, I have a mental disorder because, I don't agree with you. Something's wrong with me. So at the end of the day, my point is, look, I never understood it. I never understood it that women championed it. Like they defeated their own shit. So now your sports is going crazy. So then Trump comes and he says, women's sports is women's sports. So for the fathers of girls that are playing in women's sports, now they vote for Trump because of that, and whatever bullshit comes with Trump, they have to accept that because they don't want their daughter to be like competing against some big broad-shouldered motherfucker.
Right.
So this is one, and when you explain this to people, they go back to, no, it's because she was a black woman she lost.
Well, it's
if your son likes to play jump double dutch with the girls, they pull him in the office. Hey man, sure you want to be a boy? Because you don't have to be.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this about your last point with her being a black woman. I haven't heard that near as much as I've heard everybody doubling and tripling down on the fact that it was black men's fault that she didn't get in, and they've been running that narrative. I mean, they tried running that narrative before people had even started voting in 2020 for Biden. They had already started to pre-lay that argument out, and the votes hadn't even been cast yet.
I mean, they did the same thing with Stacey Abrams. My thing is with that though, like, is one thing that's what the women said, but then I'm talking to like people and they saying, I know my man that lives over in the UK, they were never going to elect a black woman. They got all these black women in government.
Yeah.
All these black women in government. They ain't got an issue. Maxine Waters and all these people, buck dancing and all this crazy shit. Like, they ain't got an issue. I'm surprised a black woman wasn't the president first before an Obama.
I mean, we have to, at some point, you got to give the population credit for being able to see what we saw. You could plainly look at Kamala and see that was an empty suit. You know, I mean, how many times did she say she was from a middle class family to
Just
start
kept
off?
repeat, right?
You know, and so I'm stupid now. I'm just supposed to I don't see what I'm seeing right now. And then she later says, I don't see myself being any different than Biden and how she's gonna. Okay, well then you just lost. And
Right.
then she, with that black agenda, was there
Yeah.
any black man who had agreed to that before she brought that out?
But bro, fuck all that. They just didn't want to elect a black woman, bro.
I hear you, man.
Fuck all that.
Right.
Fuck the twerking, fuck the Cardi B, the Megan Thee Stallion, the WAP chicks, right? Now, Can you imagine, right? This fucking hypocrisy of these government officials, these fucking candidates and elected people standing next to female rappers. They would have never stood next to no Snoop and Dre and all these motherfuckers back in the day. They were steamrolling their albums and you know, Bob Dole and all these other people, Dan Quails and all of these other people trying to get rid of rappers in the 90s. Remember all this shit? And now they standing next to WAP and I know cook, I know clean and all this other shit. And bitches singing about abortions. It's crazy.
I knew we were too far gone when they brought out those campaign ads, you know, get your booty to the polls. I knew it was over at that point.
Listen, man, they said in the other election, and we about to close this out. Yeah. Remember they said anybody but Trump?
Right.
I told her, I said, yo, motherfuckers, the whole damn near the country took that approach. If Palpatine was running against Kamala Harris, Palpatine would be the president.
Mm-hmm.
Emperor Palpatine would be the president, right?
Mm-hmm.
With his glowing eyes and his fucked up face. I ain't talking about Senator Palpatine. I'm talking about Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah.
This is after the Mace Windu fucked that ass up. Like this the Palpatine I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Not Senator where you can see his face. I'm talking about Emperor Palpatine. I'm for your friends will not make it past the force field, I'm afraid. That Palpatine. So at any rate, man. Yeah, he said Darth Sidious. Yeah, Darth Sidious would have got elected if he was running against this motherfucker.
So, back to and I know that we're closing it out, but
right.
This just makes me think about what I was talking about in the last stream, which is that we really need to be, kind of agnostic about the whole process. I think Nameless calls it Mandalorianism, which I think fits.
Right.
Because what's the alternative to the far left wing? Okay, we got the corporatist center right portion of the left wing who is praising, on national TV, praising Ronald Reagan in the speech rebutting Trump in the last, after his address to Congress. Or you got the crazies on the right side. And you and I spoke about this before, but when it was when they were talking about H-1B visas,
right?
The Democrats were so inept in that moment of that debate about whether they should or shouldn't champion H-1B visas that if you were against H-1B visas, the right had a place for you to be. If you were for H-1B visas, the right had a place for you to be. They had taken up both sides of the argument, and they were having a national debate about H-1B visas within their own party, and there wasn't a Democrat to be found anywhere.
Right.
How crazy is that?
Yeah. Now we were talking about this, the Jasmine Crockett dancing.
Oh God.
Right. So, again, I like all of these things just tell me we're going to be living under Republicans for some time. This is Trump's second term, so he can't get a third. So
Well,
we gonna get Vance or
well,
somebody else next. Like we gonna be living this reality for some time. You know, since like if you want to say dog whistling, applies to woke, is gonna begin to apply to Democrat.
mhm.
It's almost to the point where the first thing you think of when you think of Democrat is a black chick. Like at this point, black women are the face of the left.
Well, and I'm hearing from a lot of my friends who, aren't like really, really digging into politics, how excited they are about Jasmine Crockett in this moment. Like, they're like, well, she's fighting. I mean, like, what is she doing? And she's having sassy sound bites and she's doing Kendrick Lamar dance routines right now on TikTok. What's that doing?
It's feel good shit. You can always sell emotionalism to females. And I was telling one of my boys this morning, is that you can always, women, you can say feel good shit, you can do feel good shit, you can show them, symbolism, gestures and shit like that. But men don't operate on that shit because we need tangible shit. We can't protect and provide like, how we get demanded to protect and provide with symbolism. We can't operate as men unless we have real shit to work with. You got to give us shit in our hands for us to, get these things done and to be effective. For us to say, yeah, I feel like, I'm living this American dream. I'm in this country and is working for me. You can't just show us, like even with Trump with his little gesture with the Kobe Bryant and this and this and this, all these people that he wants to revere or whatever. Again, it's symbolism. To me, that falls in line with the Juneteenth shit and all that other shit. Like motherfuckers, we don't care about shit like this. We want to know the bottom line, right? That's all we want to know. What's the bottom line? At the end of the day, I will be critical of any president that's in the White House. I don't give a fuck what party he's belonging to. And what one of these things I will tell everybody that's watching this stream, and I'll probably have to clip this because it's late in the video and a lot of motherfuckers dropped out. Be critical of any motherfucker running the country. Now, I understand that, we had a lot of criticism for the left, right? And there's a lot of things that we're aligned with on the other side, but there are a lot of things that are going to happen that you're not going to like. Feel free to, scrutinize those things. It doesn't mean that because you scrutinize that means Kamala was the better choice. It doesn't mean that, because there's no matter who's in office, something's going to happen that you disagree with. Right. Be critical of anyone, like you said, Mandalorian approach, agnostic approach. Be critical of anyone running the country. And if they fuck up, say they fucked up. Let's not do this thing where we just, play gang politics and we accept wholesale whatever the motherfucker in the White House does as a party member. We gotta somehow rationalize that shit.
Right.
Be a person, a three-dimensional person. I see this, but that shit over there, yeah, that was some wild shit.
Well, I told you in the last stream, I've been an independent since 2004. And, I really see that we should, en masse, as a group, we should be not affiliated with either party and let them bring politics to us.
Right. But
wing whichever way that, the politics seems right for us.
Well, in the moment, I mean, because black people are conservative, right? And in the moment, that's where we are. I think that's where the country is. The shit got so Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey Circus on the left, that you force even the some of the most liberals to the right.
Yeah.
Because it was the only refuge. We only got two parties. It was the only refuge for the weird shit. You know, you got the the clown car and shit, and legs sticking out of windows and shit. Yo, there's no this. I can't get it. I can't fuck with that.
I mean, I am going to push back a little bit and say that there's only two parties because we bought into the notion that there's only two parties.
I agree, but effectively, put it that way.
Understood.
Effectively, there's only two parties. You know, and I told these people I debate with, I said, you know, we need a viable third party. So then motherfuckers can get their shit straight if they want votes. You only got Coke and Pepsi.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got much of a choice. So, I mean, that's where we are. And I agree with you. Like, you know, we got to approach it agnostic. Now we should have been approaching it agnostic. It's like, I feel like black people vote for the party that's the least harmful to niggas at the moment.
I don't even think we think that deeply about it, Marcus. Honestly, I think that we see somebody has a D next to their name, and that's where we go.
No, that too, but no, it tends to be D next to their name, right?
Yeah.
But you know, since Trump has kind of changed things, so it's like, okay, Trump comes. It's like, if a motherfucker ain't calling you a nigga to your face, then we need to vote over there. Biden fucked over here. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
Right.
Wild shit. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, ignore that. There's too much shit to ignore on the left. Again, there's no real refuge. Right? Even if you voted for the third party, one of these two are going to win. So you push the country right with the wild shit. And they're gonna continue to do this. I don't see no end in sight. It's like I said, yo, everybody's willing to give up something for whatever it is they deem more important. Hollywood has deemed the extraterrestrial shit important. That's what I'm gonna call it. They deem that more important. So they willing to, you notice they remember once upon a time Hollywood said, well, we can't shoot black movies because they don't make money, but then you can do the extraterrestrial shit and take those losses,
right?
Because you think that's a cause worth fighting and taking the L for. Same thing with the Democrats. They think that the extraterrestrial shit is not only worth losing an election, but losing some of our people on the foreign end, because in some of these countries they don't really fuck with that shit. And America was telling them, or the Biden administration was telling them, look, if you don't, you know, give these people their rights or whatever, we ain't gonna fuck with y'all. Now, mind you, I don't give a fuck about their rights if they don't got them, or if they, you know, whatever. What I'm saying is, like, you're really throwing a lot towards this thing. So what I'm trying to understand is, what is the dog in the fight? What is the end game here? For the left, for the American left, what is the end game with pushing this stuff not only overseas but to the children here and what is the real like finish line here?
I think that the finish line, especially if you combine it with our efforts for increasing immigration, I think that the finish line for all of that, if you lump it all together, is to be able to make the black vote a non-factor, where they can win an election and not even have to talk to you anymore.
No, but listen to what I'm saying. You don't do that with the letter community. The letter community is very small.
I know, that's why I said you combine it with their efforts for illegal immigration.
No, the illegal immigration, I understand. That's a population that you bring in to be beholden to you. What I'm saying is this dedication to the letter thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not of the belief that this is some humanitarian effort, because the U.S. does not do humanitarian efforts. So what is the immigrants? I understand. The illegals, I totally get. But what is what are you trying to do here by pushing this ideology globally? It's not even just here. It's globally.
Yeah, I don't.
And then when you go after children, you're basically trying to groom. Like, y'all motherfuckers is grooming. Right? That's what they tell niggas all the time. You fuck with a younger bitch than you're grooming.
Right.
Right? But you ain't got no problem with these motherfuckers going into these schools grooming. That's what they're doing. They're fucking grooming. Get your parents out the way and don't tell your parents. And if you feel this way, and you know, we got these pills you could take, and you know what I'm saying? It's grooming. So what are you doing? What is the end game? No, they're not trying to convert it. It's bullshit. What are you doing? I'm trying to figure this out. What are you doing? What is the end game? The money that's going into this, millions of dollars, taking losses, all of this shit. They're throwing a lot away. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
you're losing a lot.
We could come up with an answer for that, but as Maggie would call it, it would be tinfoil hat.
Why is it important? Why is it this? This is a very important thing.
I think Christopher Brown is on top of it. So
he says population control.
I'm saying.
I don't know. It's just too easy.
I told you it'd be tinfoil hat, bro. But I'm not saying I don't. I'm not saying I don't agree.
Listen, look. It's just so many other ways to control population. So then make the world the pride parade?
Bro, I didn't say
to control population?
Look, I don't know.
Follow me.
We're both grabbing the straws right now. I don't know.
Follow me. I'm just saying, like, you know.
Bro, I don't know.
Anyway, yo, it's been real, man. Yo, check it out. I appreciate y'all fucking with us this long. For everybody that stuck around, I'm gonna be clipping a lot of videos, man, for people that have to hop off of these long ass streams. So when y'all see videos pop up and y'all see clip from etc., that's where it came from, man. Chris Brown, Chris Brown. That's Chris Breezy. We call my man Breezy. So Breezy, you know, I appreciate that response there. I don't think he's way off, but I'm just saying, like, that's a whole lot for that. There's so other shit you could do, but just
I mean, remember that when we were talking about illegal immigration, it was Schumer doing those press conferences talking about how they need to get the birth rate up using illegals. I'll find you a clip of that and I'll send it to you. But he did that more than once.
Right, because we're losing, Roger, we're losing people.
Yeah.
The population here is shrinking, not growing. It ain't too many motherfuckers here.
The white population is. Black folks are still reproducing themselves.
No, we're shrinking too. We're shrinking too. Black people are shrinking too.
We ain't pushing out 10 kids like my grandma did way back in the day, but
no, it's to a lesser degree, but we're shrinking too. Black people are shrinking, white people are shrinking, the Latinos are not.
Yeah,
and that's it's more than them just reproducing. It's because we importing the motherfuckers. Yeah. Okay, like we imported Europeans back in the day to maintain that majority.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying.
Homogeneity, yeah.
Right. So at any rate, yo, I appreciate you for jumping on, and we're going to do this again. And, yo, stay tuned. We're going to do another politics as usual. I'd say not immediately, but like in a month, whatever. And Hood Conservative will be back. All right, y'all.
He'll be gunning for me next time because he said he wanted to debate with me. So whatever.
He said that?
Well, I'm just saying, you remember in the last stream, he's like, yeah, but I wanted to argue with you.
Okay. All right, so no doubt. It is what it is, man. We up out of here. He said, if you attain global domination, butch women and effeminate men are not a threat to your power. We ain't a threat to their power as is. You know what I'm saying? But at any rate, let's go. Let's get up out of here, man. We've been here long enough. Peace out, y'all. Good looking. 100.